Dame wrote the book on tradition. The legendary Knute Rockne, the Four Horsemen, 7 Heisman Trophy winners, and customs that go back generations. When you play for Notre Dame, you take your place in history. On November 13, history was made when the Irish beat Florida State to move to #1 in the country. But just a week later, Notre Dame was kicked out of an undefeated season. Do the Irish still merit national title consideration?
My main concern is to win, to beat A&M. If we beat A&M, I can't control anything other than
At
that.
stake today, the Cotton Bowl trophy, and maybe, just maybe, much more. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame and Texas A&M. An absolutely gorgeous January the 1st. Happy New Year's, everybody, and here is the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame as they take the field here in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, still in search of that national title for 1993. I'm Charlie Jones along with Todd Christensen, but to set the scene first, let's talk about Texas A&M. They have dominated the Southwest Conference. They want to defeat Notre Dame to make a mark in the national picture. They are led by their head coach, R.C. Slocum.
And R.C. Slocum might be the Rodney Dangerfield of collegiate football coaches. Over the last 3 seasons, 32 out of 34 victories. But the bane of that program has been they've had Florida State in the Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. They were not able to defeat either team. That's what they need to do, and they have a second chance today. If they defeat Notre Dame, they're in the national title picture in the next couple of years.
And they have become tailback university, and they are led by Greg Hill.
A triumvirate of outstanding runners, as you mentioned, led by Greg Hill. Missed the first 4 games of the season, but since that time has averaged over 100 yards per game in the last 7 games. He is the bellwether of that running attack.
Their young quarterback is Corey Pullig.
And Corey Pullig last year in the Cotton Bowl was a true freshman, a little bit overwhelmed by the Notre Dame Irish. But as we talked with him this week, he talked about how he was really looking forward to the pressure. He thinks he's going to have a big day today.
Now for Notre Dame, #4 as we start the new year, their head coach Lou Holtz.
Lou Holtz has done an outstanding job with this team this year. They have overcome a lot of adversity to go 10-0, but of course the last game of the season against BC, that's what's weighing heavily right now. It'll be interesting to see how resilient that team is today.
That offensive line led by Lombardi Award winner, and he is a great one, Aaron Taylor.
Lou Holtz mentioned the fact that he wanted 10% of this man's future. I'd be happy to have 10% myself. My guess is this is somebody who's going to be one of the first 10 picks of the 1994 NFL Draft.
And one of the great stories this year at Notre Dame, their quarterback, Kevin McDougal.
Yeah, amidst all the stars of Notre Dame, here is somebody who really has been overlooked. Everybody talked about all these other people, as you mentioned, the 2 Taylors, Lee Becton. Kevin McDougal, all he has done is led them to 10-1 and a 4th ranking. Lou Holtz told us one of the great stories in Notre Dame history, and I would agree.
I do, too. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Thank you, Charlie. And one of the big stories, you're talking about big stories this week, had nothing to do with football or the teams, but rather with the dog napping of the Texas A&M mascot, Reveille 6. The 4-month-old American collie was taken by Texas students to Austin earlier in the week, held for 4 days before finally being retrieved. She was found tied to a tree there. They took her back. She's healthy. She's fine. She's ready for the game. And because of you, Charlie Jones, they are now dubbing this caper Puppygate. Back to you.
There was a ransom note. They wanted A&M to say that the University of Texas was a greater university, but it has all been settled in time for the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame will be receiving it. Texas A&M will kick it away. And there is R.C. Slocum, the head coach of the Aggies, and Lou Holtz, the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And again, clear skies in Dallas. If you were here or watched on television a year ago, it was cold, it was miserable, but this is a perfect late afternoon for this classic. And we want to welcome those of you in the states of Arizona and Florida who have been watching the Arizona-Miami game. The final Arizona 29-0 in the IBM OSU Fiesta Bowl. Boy, that's a big surprise.
It really is. Woo. It really is. Arizona really making a claim to being one of the National League. What a defense they have. Desert Swarm shutout.
Clint Johnson to return the kickoff. Kickoff of Terry Venatulia. And we are underway. 4 yards yards deep in the end zone. He takes the gamble to run it out and only gets to the 9-yard line.
12th man made the play.
And the man who got him, Cole Reiner's the 12th man. He is a junior, non-scholarship from New Braunfels, Texas. And what a moment for him.
Big mistake, as you mentioned, Charlie, going backwards on the return. And look at the speed at which he pursues. 6'2", 225 pounds. Big play. Coming into this game, as you mentioned, Charlie, Notre Dame averaging nearly 40 yards per kickoff return. Great play, and how exciting it is for that young man.
Notre Dame starts from their own 8-yard line, first down. And the handoff is to Becton. Becton over the right side has an opening, and he is going to pick up 12 yards and a first down as he goes to the 20-yard line. Let's look at that offensive set for Notre Dame. The white, a couple of changes, and that means that Akers is starting at left guard. The big change, though, is Lance Johnson. Only his fourth start. Hasn't played a quarter this year, as a great center, Tim Ruddy, and an abdominal strain, he is out for the game. Kevin McDougal, Becton, Zellers, Johnson, Lake Johnson, and Oscar McBride. Notre Dame first down at their own 20-yard line. And here is Becton again as he cuts back. He'll pick up 4 to the 24. It'll be second down and 6. Sam Adams made the last tackle. By the way, he has a bad left ankle. That's what he's been telling everybody. He led the charge of the Aggies as they came out. He is joined in that front seven, and that is an excellent front seven. They will have to stop, though, the rushing attack of Notre Dame. In the secondary, the man to watch is All-American Aaron Glenn, number 31. He is at left corner. It is second down. Ball game just underway. A&M won the toss. They deferred to the second half. And here is Becton with a hole on the near side. And he is cut down at the 27-yard line. So he'll gain 3. It's going to be third down and about 3 yards to go as Steve Solari and Mike Hendricks make the stop for the Aggies.
Big issue there in the offensive line. Lee Becton, 1,000-yard rusher that you get a chance to look at. The big issue here is that on 3rd and 3, you're wondering to yourself, this has got to be a passing down, not with Notre Dame. And that man right there, Lance Johnson, is going to be a key. Tim Ruddy, arguably one of the 2 or 3 best centers in collegiate football, out. How well this man plays against Teichelman is going to be an issue today.
The give is to the first back through, Wayne Zellers, and he is going to pick up the first down. So the second first down in the opening drive for Notre Dame. Antonio Shorter, the outside linebacker, makes the tackle for Texas A&M.
We mentioned Johnson. Take a look at the pit. They go to a 4-man line. He blocks down, cuts out. Look at the trap block right there by Johnson. Good job enabling the back to get through. That was the trap block on Eric England, their defensive end. Good job there by Johnson.
Lake Dawson and Derek Mays are the wide receivers. They're split away. Play action fake. Wanting to go deep, out of time, and sacked to the 25-yard line by Antonio Shorter.
That was a coverage sack, Charlie. They had man-for-man coverage, and Aaron Glenn, the All-American that you mentioned, was all over Lake Dawson. Here's the play action. Take a look. They go with the inside or bullets blitz, the inside backers. Take a look at the play action, but they just cannot keep number 56, in this case Shorter, from getting the sack.
Antonio Shorter, the junior from Houston, is now second down and 17.
I'm a little surprised at that call, Charlie, especially the way they've been running the football.
Play action fake. Here's the reverse. Michael Miller around the corner, down the sideline, and the reverse will pick up the first down as he goes to the 44-yard line. Michael Miller, the junior from Missouri City, the state Texas.
19-yard run by Mike Miller, and you got to give Lou Holtz and Son Skip a lot of credit. They talk about how conservative Notre Dame is, but here on a big second down play, they go with the reverse, and they fool the over-pursuing Texas A&M Aggies. And as a result, Notre Dame with a first down at the 45-yard line.
And Junior White is the man who pushed Michael Miller out of bounds just outside the 44-yard line. Officially, they'll call it the 45. The third first down in the opening drive for Notre Dame. And they go back to Beckton. He starts outside, cuts back inside. He has 5 yards to the 50. It'll be second down and 5. And All-America Sam Adams, who was the Sports Illustrated Defensive Player of the Year, is the man who makes the tackle.
Speaking of All-Americans, that's who they run behind here. Watch number 75, the left tackle, Aaron Taylor, in your picture. Watch him block down, and that's just a mismatch right there. Jackson, number 37, is only 239 pounds. Aaron Taylor at 300 just pushes him out of the way. Right now, the offensive line for Notre Dame is dominating up front.
And right now, Beckton has already rushed for 24 yards in 4 carries, and the Aggies are going to take a timeout. That stops the clock with 11:25 left to go. We're in the first quarter. We have no score as the Mobil Cotton Bowl will be back to Dallas.
Mobil 1, the advanced synthetic motor oil. It keeps your engine running like new. By Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1994 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. By Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly. And by Smooth Busch Beer, an easy drinking Busch Light.
This is Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen, the 58th Mobil Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We have no score. This is the current drive, 42 yards in 7 plays, consuming 3:35 and started at the 8-yard line.
And just as significant on the first down plays, they're averaging over 5 yards. That's the reason I think that Texas A&M needed to take a timeout.
Second down. And here is Ray Zeller of Notre Dame, and he is going to pick up a couple of yards on it. Actually, he's going to pick up about 2.5 before Eric England, the defensive right end, upended him. Now, England, number 92 for Texas A&M, probably the littlest known defensive end because everybody knows about Sam Adams on the other side, number 95. So don't overlook Eric England from Sugar Land. He has had an outstanding year for the Aggies.
And he has to have an outstanding game because he's going to be opposite the great Aaron Taylor for most of the day.
Third down and 3. Now, what happened, lifting up and looking around, was the quarterback, Kevin McDougal, one of the Aggies, perhaps thinking that he was an offensive lineman, but came across and made contact.
But if it's the tight end in the case of Oscar McBride, he can move. He can shift back or he can shift out.
The defense is offside. The 5 yards results in a first down.
And what R.C. Slocum is talking about is that there was movement along the offensive line of Notre Dame. But the movement that we saw was Kevin McDougal. Look at the top of your screen and see what happens.
Take a look at the top of your screen right here. Number 80, he is the tight end. That is somebody that can move. Trust me, from personal experience, I did play the position for a little while. He can move, and as a result, that's a good call by the officials.
So with the penalty, the first of the ball game, it is a first down. 43-yard line of Texas A&M. This is the opening drive of the Cotton Bowl, and we have no score. The blitz set him up the middle. And Zellers is still going to pick up 3 yards.
And one of the things that Texas A&M is doing, Charlie, is that they're taking their chances now with the blitz, believing that their corners can handle things on the outside. Take a look here at the inside. This is what's called the bullet blitz. Both inside backers are going to come and try and fill the lanes. But take a look at the power here of Zellers. Even though they fill the lane, he's able to move them backwards for 3 yards.
And it will be second down and 7. 3 wide receivers. No, not 3. As Johnson goes out of bounds on the far side. 2 wide receivers to the far side. And that is Derek Mays and Michael Miller. Second down and long. The Irish stay on it. Here is Beckton. And it is Sam Adams who makes the tackle. To talk with a couple of times.
That was England. Well, you just
mentioned
the fact that that was the man that has to come through and make some big plays. He's able to string things out to the outside, and Eric England makes the tackle. Watch to the right of your screen. Number 92 is not. He refuses to be hooked by Taylor. Cuts underneath him, and that's the quickness of Eric England. He's able to shake off the block of Taylor and make the stick on Beckton.
And it is third down and 3. Fake over the middle. Pass is complete. Derek Mays. First down. 22-yard line. Junior White makes the tackle.
Well, difficult thing to cover for a quarterback is the deep in route when you have man coverage. Watch to the middle of your screen. Miller is going to come to the middle, and the quarterback just doesn't stay with him. There's a big gap, a big cavern there in the middle of the field. And McDougall is able to exploit it. Look at the protection that he gets plenty of time to find him in the middle of the field. And there he is with a big catch.
First down, Miller and Johnson, wide receivers near side, 22-yard line. Here's Beckton. Sits the tackle, hit, spin, 19-yard line. He has 3. It'll be second down and 7. Now make a note of the time. We now have 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter. This is the opening drive of the ballgame.
It's difficult here in the midst of these opening drive, Charlie, for Bob Davies, defensive coordinator of Texas A&M, to decide what to do. We talked to him about the fact that, yes, he has to go with an 8-man front and take his chances on the outside, but their ability to bang in, and then all of a sudden on third down come up with a big passing play to Mays really presents a lot of problems for A&M.
13th play of the opening drive. Here is the option, and the keep, and the cutback, and the touchdown, Notre Dame.
By Jeremy Akers, who comes and pulls. He is the one that makes the block that enables McDougall to go.
Pendergast to attempt the extra point. And we'll have a flag. 92 yards in that opening drive, 13 plays. And Notre Dame consumed almost 7 minutes. 6:59 off of the clock, and now we'll go down to check out the flag. The officials from the Pac-10
By rule,
conference.
there is no foul. The defense was in the neutral zone when the offense picked up. By rule, no foul.
Bill Richardson is the referee this afternoon, and he is one of the good ones.
And you have to wonder if this sets the tone, Charlie. Initial play, 12th man comes down, big stuff inside the 10-yard line. The crowd goes crazy. What does Notre Dame do? They collect themselves, get a big third down conversion, drive 92 yards, and as you mentioned, consume 7 minutes off the clock.
Lance Johnson with the snap. Paul Fela is the holder, and Kevin Pendergast with the extra point attempt. Heading left, but it stays inside of the upright. And Notre Dame now leads 7-0.
Everything has been inside thus far, and now what a great opportunity. Take a look at the block there by Akers. Right on Adams. He actually takes 2 men out of the play, and that enables McDougall to cut up the field and get in for the touchdown. Jeremy Akers now coming right at you. Watch number 76 take 2 people out. 7 minutes consumed by the Notre Dame Irish, finalized by Kevin McDougall with a 19-yard sprint.
Only the second nationally televised Cotton Bowl, Rice halfback Dickie Mago was awarded a 95-yard touchdown after Alabama's Tommy Lewis came off the bench to blindside the Rice All-America at the 40-yard line. Mago ran for a record 265 yards in the game, and Tommy Lewis, well, he wanted to hide. Welcome back to the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl.
It looked to me like number 54 might have caught him.
Dickie Mago said he never would have caught it.
Okay, no, it just looked like that. It also looked like the defensive back from the middle had a shot at him. I'm surprised they gave him the distance.
Kevin Pendergast will kick off. Number 34, Leland McElroy of Texas A&M. Number 1 in the nation in kickoff returns. He has 3 of them this year for touchdowns. And here he is, 20-yard line stumble. And he will go down around the 22. And now let's go back to the touchdown for Notre Dame.
Ironically, Jeremy Akers, number 76, was not supposed to start. The starting left guard normally is Zadovetsky. But take a look right here at number 76. As he pulls around, he is going to wipe out not only Sam Adams, but he's going to take out Larry Jackson as well. And what a tremendous block that enabled McDougall to go the distance.
We are almost halfway through the first quarter, A&M's first opportunity on offense. The snap, and Curlig will be swarmed under. Corey Floyd could not come up with the snap. From the center, Chris Dowson, who is the 3rd Dowson brother to play for the Aggies. So a little nervousness showing, and of course the long wait can factor into that. The ball goes back to the 15.
Can't tell from here whether or not he pulled out too soon. It appears that the snap was fine. He just bobbled it. Then when he went to pick it up, too many white shirts in his face, the major one being Bryant Young.
Rodney Thomas comes in at tailback. Chris Gross is the fullback. And the pitch is to Thomas. And he is wrapped up at the 15-yard line by Ronaldo Wynn. Let's look at that offensive set for Texas A&M. There's a look at that offensive line, and all 5 members of that line are first team All-Southwest Conference. And a look at the backs and receivers, and you notice Greg Hill at halfback. Well, we'll see Rodney Thomas, who we saw in that last play. We'll also see Leland McElroy in that slot.
I think the key to this game is going to be number 3, Tony Harrison.
Fulega pump fake screen left side. It is Thomas who has it. He cuts upfield. He spins his way to the first down. With a signature spin off of the would-be tackler, comes down at the 36. Calvin Collins with the lead block. Jim Flanagan sick with the flu all last night, and Pete Bursich making the tackle.
A lot of this is the play acting of Corey Pulley is outstanding here. He looks back to the right, then comes back to the left. Thomas all alone cutting upfield. Look at the blocks as he's able to utilize his lineman, cut back to the middle. Right there, that 360. If he can maintain his feet, who knows?
First down, 36-yard line. Play action fake roll. Right pass is the pitch right flat. That's the tight end, Greg Short. 45-yard line. Gain of 9.
Greg Short, honorable mention, All-American on the play-action fake. Pushes Wynn and then just kind of a hide route to the outside, and that fools Covington a little bit, anticipating run support. He's not up as soon as he might have been, and as a result, Short gets near to the first down marker. I asked R.C. Slocum yesterday how crucial this man might be to the game, and he said, well, you know, we're not sure, but based on the fact that Boston College did an outstanding job of using their tight end in their game against them, I was too struck getting a couple of balls today.
Play action fake to Greg Hill. Deep over the middle. It is no drop. Or was it called the rebound? No. Almost intercepted. Covington went for it. Short the tight end. Again, the intended receiver. And the Irish almost had the turnover.
Young quarterback a lot of times just looks in one direction. Covington is playing center field. He's right there, and the ball is clearly underthrown. Very lucky to get that one back. Take a look at Pollock. He knows, oh boy, I was lucky to get that one back. He can't believe he didn't air it out because he did have Short about 2 yards farther than Covington downfield.
That was second and about 1.5 yards, so now it's third and short. And Thomas is the tailback. And Thomas the ball here. He's got the first down and more. 44-yard line, Notre Dame. Dragging Jeff Burris and Brian McGee.
Well, we've been talking a lot about the offensive line of Notre Dame, but take a look at the offensive line here. 3rd and 1 situation. They knife the gaps, but look at the maroon shirts pushing people off. Good block there on the center, enabling Thomas to get the first down. When we asked R.C. Slocum regarding Rodney Thomas, we said, what's the difference between the 3 backs? He said, the other 2 are very patient. He said, Rodney Thomas has one speed, and that's straight ahead.
Chris Dowson and Calvin Collins opening the hole, a senior and a junior for the Aggies. And it's a first down, 45-yard line, Notre Dame. Notre Dame leads 7-0. Pass is complete. Far side. This is to the fullback, Gross. He lost his footing for a moment, or he would have had maybe 8 or 9 more yards, but he's got the first down at the 27 of the Irish.
Well, clearly this is a mix-up in the secondary. Gross is wide open. It's just simply a flat route by the fullback. No play-action fake, no nothing. Coming to your screen, there are no Notre Dame people here. No white shirts. And as you mentioned, he stumbles a little bit. Covington comes over to make the tackle. Clearly an error in the secondary for Notre Dame. We should also mention, of course, Rick Minter, who is the defensive coordinator, is now no longer with the organization. Other people are having to call the defensive plays.
And the game breaker, Leland McElroy, is in the slot on the right side. And here is the reverse to McElroy. He gets around the corner and down the sideline. He's got the first down. The freshman from Beaumont, Greg Lane, finally got it.
Well, there's no accounting for for speed. Brian Hamilton isn't fooled. He actually plays this reverse just right. Once to the right of your screen, number 90, he sees it coming, but there's just no way he can keep up with McElroy. McElroy with 4.35 speed is not going to be caught by a defensive lineman.
And a gain of 14, first down at the 13-yard line of Notre Dame. The younger brother of Reggie, who played with the Raiders, and now with Kansas City. First down at the 13. Greg Hill. He's got about 5 on the play, maybe 6. Let's go down to John Dockery.
You know, Charlie, I think it's important to note that Bobby Taylor, the best defensive back for the Irish, is on the sidelines. I talked to him before the game. He said his groin muscle was bothering him, but he expected to be in the second series. I wonder why Lou Holtz hasn't put him in sooner. Brian McKee, number 17, is playing that left cornerback position. So this is a weakened Irish defensive team without Taylor.
Fifth play of the drive. And Dockery at 2nd and 5. Here's the flat right side. Crossing into the end zone is Greg Hill. Mark the time. 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Time remaining. First quarter. It has been 6 long years for the Aggies between touchdowns here in the Cotton Bowl.
Greg Hill, not really an integral part of that drive, but he certainly comes in to finish it off.
Terry Venetoulias will attempt the extra point for the tie, and it is gone. Well, it was a case for Texas A&M of anything you can do, I can do well, just as well. You guys had a long drive, we can have a long drive. Look at the blocking on the right side of the line for A&M. Give credit to Calvin Collins and Jason Matthews for opening up that hole. The only man who's there is Covington. And as a result of Greg Hill's romp, Texas A&M now has tied it at 7.
Of the game, Boston Garden as the Suns battle the Celtics. And at halftime, a very special moment as Kevin McHale's number 32 is raised to the rafters. Just the start of the NBA on NBC on Super Sunday, January 30th.
Greg Hill, who scored the touchdown earlier this week, he said, once the tailback to Texas A&M. We're the best looking, we have the best haircuts, we have the best bodies. If it was a fashion show, they would wait for the tailback from A&M to come out. Greg Johnson to return the kick. Couple of yards deep, he is out to the 5, the 10. He's got a 40-yard average, 20, 25, 30. And then shot to the 31-yard line. Kyle Maxfield making the tackle for the Aggies. 3:47, first quarter. We're tied at 7.
Daddy! We interrupt this promo for a sneak preview alert.
Yeah, never, they did it again.
It's the show you've been hearing about and everyone's waiting for.
Hi, sweetheart. That's your mother. Comedy!
A special preview of The Good Life after the Fresh Prince, Monday.
Welcome back to the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, and we have one heck of a game going, 7-7, the Irish and the Aggies. And something to watch on this drive is the defensive play of Texas A&M, because their defensive coordinator, Bob Davie, talked to his linebackers and his secondary about giving up the defenses too soon. What he means is that they are showing their defenses early, and that is allowing McDougal to audible at the line of scrimmage and then call the right play. So Todd and Charlie, I think that's something to watch in this drive to see if they wait a little longer before they show the defense that they're in.
Doc, thanks a lot. That's really a good point, because there's at least 3 different situations where he audibled the plays that ended up being more than 5-yard gains, and I do believe that the option was an audible as well, so that's a good point.
First down, 32-yard line. Play action fake. Deep over the middle. And it is incomplete to Derek May. And he was picked up by Ray Mickens from El Paso. Now, Mickens is just a pesky little cornerback. He's on the other side from Aaron Glenn, who gets all the publicity. But Mickens, he is just there, and he will hound you. He's only 5'8", 172 pounds. but he's here and he's there and he's pushing and he's shoving and he's clawing, and he will give receivers all kinds of fits.
But Mickens isn't the one that makes the play. It's Shorter, who once again is not blocked, and there's Eichelman in the middle. McDougal had hardly any time at all to throw.
Second down and 10, 32-yard line. That's a lateral. That's a backward pass, but it is complete. Here's Beckton. He cuts back. A flag is down. Another flag is down, and Beckton is down at the 34.
Oscar McBride is the one that clips over to the sideline close to the 30-yard line. It'll be an interesting decision here as to whether or not Texas A&M wants to play field position, which indicates that's what Slocum wants to do, or force third down. But he wants to move him back, it appears.
They refuse it. It would be third down and 8.
Illegal block in the back by the offense. 10-yard penalty enforced in the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
As Charlie mentioned, this is the lateral, and watch just to the left of your screen, number 80, that's McBride, clearly right in the middle of the back of Steve Solari, and that's what the official saw.
The ball will be placed at the 18-yard line, and of course the down goes over, and it's almost second down and forever. It's second down and 25. Beckton, and he spins out to the 22-yard line. So it's going to be third down and 21. Jason Atkins makes the tackle for Texas A&M, and when we talked with him, he said, you know, at Texas A&M, we kind of feel like, you know, like we're the kings, and the rest of the conference, they're the dwarfs, but we want to be king of the hill, and the big hill is playing a national power like Notre Dame.
Well, this young man is very impressive. Not only is he their leading tackler on the inside, but he is somebody who was their scholar athlete as well. 2 years in a row, scholar athlete for Texas A&M. Outstanding young man.
Third down and 21. Flags on the play. McDougal throws near side like Dawson. They'll call it off. As the whistle had sounded, normally it's called off on a false start by the offensive line.
Dead ball foul, false start on the offense. The down remains the same. There's no play.
So a pair of penalties called on Notre Dame and now pushed them back to the 17-yard line. It's going to be third down and 26. Now, we haven't talked about the wind, but in the first quarter, A&M does have the wind at their back. And so that means that if Notre Dame is forced to punt, they will be kicking into the wind with 2:17 and counting time remaining in the first period. We are tied at 7. And here is Beckton with a straight shot up the middle, across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
And anybody who happens to have seen either the Florida State or the Boston College game know that the Notre Dame punting game has not been very strong. And with the nation's leading punt returner, Aaron Glenn, back there, Notre Dame has to be very careful.
And we're waiting to see who the punter is going to be. It is number 10, Adrian Gerald. T. Brian Ford and Rob Leonard all in the running. Lou Holtz said the one that doesn't drop the ball in 3 games is the one who is going to catch. They have not had a kicking game all year long. And this one will go to the 40-yard line of Texas A&M down at that point. The Aggies will take over at their own 40-yard line. A kick of only 34 yards. Be sure to stay with us here on NBC this afternoon. The Federal Express Orange Bowl is next. Number 1 Florida State against number 2 Nebraska. And the AP rankings, Florida State 1, Nebraska 2. You see Notre Dame is 4th, Texas A&M is 7th. And speaking of the number 7, we are tied at 7. And the Aggies have the ball at their own 40-yard line. And they come out throwing, and the pass is completed at the 50 to Brian Mitchell. And he certainly knows right there.
Interesting that they go right at Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor just now in the game here on the second series. They go right at him. Nice throw by Pollock. He can't be very happy about that. Put it right on the numbers of Mitchell. Straight drop back, no play action pass. Hook route, wide open, just drops it.
I think he ran too soon. Bobby Taylor from Longview, Texas, when we talked with him, he said, do you have any tickets? I've got my family here. I'm getting everybody for tickets. I need at least 25, and the phone calls are still coming in.
Well, talking to you and I, we didn't give much out.
Oh, yeah. So would you like to do the third quarter? Here's Greg Hill. Has the first down. Inside the 45, close to the 40-yard line. Pete Versus with the tackle. 19 yards on the play.
This is a version of the counter tray in split backs. Watch the guard and tackle pull. Little misdirection with the fullback, and here comes Hill. Look at the blocks up front, enabling him to cut into the secondary. Outstanding job by Matthews and Collins getting out front of Hill and enable him to have some running room.
Notre Dame defeating Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl last year, but A&M 16 of their 22 starters from a year ago are back. Play action fake. Deep over the middle. This pass is caught by Mitchell. First down, A&M. And Jeff Burris, the All-America safety, makes the shot for Notre Dame. And Bullock looks like a different quarterback than the freshman a year ago when he was intimidated by the Irish. Not today.
Well, one of the things that's surprising, Charlie, is the number of times that Texas A&M is throwing on first down. They really are confusing the defense of Notre Dame. And I can't help but wonder if a lot of it has to do with the fact that Rick Minter, away from things, not integrally involved in the preparation for this game, if that has an effect on Notre Dame.
Greg Hill and McElroy are both in the lineup. And way overthrown. Greg Short, the tight end, the intended receiver. He, by the way, on the year had 17 receptions, which is more than all of the tight ends of Notre Dame combined.
Well, as good as the last pass was, this one is awful. Just on the seam route, he's wide open, and he just completely overthrows him. Look at that. Has him there for 60. He throws his hands. Ah, come on, get it in there.
His wife, Jenny, and Greg Short's 2-year-old daughter looking in on the contest today. Second down and 10. We are tied at 7 with 10 seconds left in the first period. Here's the middle screen. Tipped airborne. It is incomplete. Tony Harrison, the intended receiver, they call it the jailbreak. They just swing him over to a middle screen. And it is incomplete. It has been a big play in the arsenal of the Aggies, but also a big play over the years for Notre Dame.
Throwing it a little bit too soon and a little bit too high. And in that case, give credit there. Give credit where it's due. Thomas Knight is the one who alters the trajectory of the ball, and that's why it's a little bit high.
Third down and 10. 6 seconds left in the third. Flips up the middle, had to get rid of it, he throws it away. That's a pretty good play by the quarterback, though, because Jeff Burris was coming on the blitz. He was trying to avoid the sack and the loss to set up the possible field goal attempt with 2 seconds left to go in the quarter with the win.
Right of your screen, you're right, Charlie. Burris comes and nobody touches him, and he throws it away. And an interesting point here, there was 6 seconds left in the quarter. Something that you just mentioned with regards to the wind is significant. If the quarter runs out, they have to turn around, and Venetoulias has to kick into the wind. And 40 yards, there are some short 40-yard kicks into the wind. This could turn out to be beneficial for the Aggies.
Officially 39 yards low. It is blocked. It is covered by Stormy Case, who was the holder. But Notre Dame will take over on down with the blocked field goal attempt on 4th down as we come to the end of the first quarter.
Ball kicks a little bit low. Take a look at the trajectory of the ball. But jumping over the top. Look at that. What a tremendous effort. I believe that was Bobby Taylor. Evidently the groin isn't altering his vertical jump at all.
Into the first quarter, Notre Dame 7, Texas A&M 7.
I will not have the first worst losing season in 40 years at this university.
The only thing that can save Pete Bell's job is a miracle. Behold, the miracle.
Never been coached. It's totally wrong.
Neon, please try not to step on the children.
Okay, all right.
Nick Nolte and Shaquille O'Neal. Blue Chips starts Friday, February 18th at theaters everywhere.
You know, winning a Super Bowl was great, but now I'm winning with Interstate batteries.
We won the ultimate NASCAR race.
We won the Daytona 500. Get an Interstate battery wherever you see this sign. We check them before you buy them. For fresh power, guaranteed.
It isn't the night or even the fog that gets you. It's when the team leader puts you in charge for the first time. And you decide to drop right inside Alpatine's backyard. That's when you find out how good you really are.
This Goodyear AquaTread pumps away over a gallon of water every second with this deep groove aqua channel. That's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. The all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
You're looking at the fountain of youth. Advanced Formula Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. In a test, it protected an engine for 200,000 miles. The result? Vital engine parts that looked as young as the day they were born. There was virtually no engine wear. If you're looking for the fountain of youth, you'll find it in a container of motor oil. Mobil 1 synthetic. It keeps your engine running like new.
The Chiefs, the Seahawks, Montana meets Meyer. Two former Notre Dame greats go head-to-head as KC fights for a first-round playoff bye. Then the Broncos, the Raiders. It's just win, baby, and the silver and black are in the playoffs. But Denver wants home field for the wild card round. An NFL doubleheader Sunday.
Welcome back to the 1994 edition, the 58th Volvo Cotton Bowl.
Take a look at Bobby Taylor right here. He gets great vertical leap here, but take a look at his head right at the end of the block. Venetulius scuffs the ball, and look at how high he gets for it. Watch where he blocks it. Actually blocks it right in the kisser, as my dad would say, right there. Great effort. Nice vertical jump by Bobby Taylor, who was an All-American basketball player in high school, and even talked about talking to Coach McLeod after the game was over about the possibility of playing.
Notre Dame first down their own 36-yard line. Ball game tied at 7 as we start the second quarter. Jeller's the ball carrier. He's the fullback, and Larry Jackson was the man who met him.
Well, evidently Skip Holtz, offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, opted that the last couple of times when they've tried to pass on first down, one ended up being a sack, another a penalty, and another a near sack, that they're going to go back to basics here in this drive.
Second down and 11. Kinder, the ball carrier, as he has replaced Lee Beckton, and he is down. Jason Atkinson and Lance Teichelman just converged on him for the Aggies. It'll be third down and long.
Well, of course, in that first drive, the offensive line for Notre Dame was dominant. These two plays, evidently the adjustments that Bob Davie, defensive coordinator for A&M, has made is paying dividends.
Beckton has come back into the offensive set. And here's the slot on the right side, third down and 12.
Like the screen right in the middle.
Derek Bays cannot pull it up. The pass way low. As McDougal was getting some pressure. The Aggies hold and Notre Dame will be kicking. And you come into the X factor for Notre Dame, and that is their punting. And Adrian Jarrell will be kicking, and the return man is Aaron Glenn, who leads the nation in punt returns.
And I think he's too deep. Remember last time the ball bounced in front of him, Right now he's about 45 yards back.
Oh, here's the kick. He has got a good one. Maybe the best of his career that goes into the end zone.
Charlie, it is. That's a 66-yard kick. The longest was 58. Absolutely hits a satellite. Here we've been critical of their punting game, and all of a sudden he hits one that they're able to pick up on Telstar.
It may not look busy, but this Dodge Intrepid is processing 2 million pieces of information.
You know they'd like to lead to a soundbite of it, Coach. Welcome back to the 58 Mobile Cotton Bowl. We go down to John Dockery.
And Charlie, you know, Rick Minter, defensive coordinator of Notre Dame, is up in the box there. He's taking the job at Cincinnati, and it's caused a little lack of continuity in the coaching staff. It's forced Lou Holtz to get much more involved in the defense. He was very angry after Boston College. What he said to his linebackers was so key. He said, you better watch the tight ends. Remember Pete Mitchell from Boston College? And you better watch the screens, or else we'll be in trouble on defense. Todd?
Well, Doc, that turned out to be prophetic because recall on 3rd and 17, the big play was the screen that enabled him to get the first down in that drive. And, of course, Shorp has they've already thrown the ball to him 4 times. Could have had a touchdown earlier if Pollock did not overthrow the ball. So up to this point, Minter has been pressured.
First down, 20-yard line. Mitchell's in motion. And again, it's to Rodney Thomas. This time he's only going to get a couple of yards on the play. And earlier we talked with Jeff Burris about the very thing that you were talking about, Todd, and here is his reaction.
Well, it's going to be a combination of all the coaches. It's not going to be one particular coach. As in Coach Minter, he was the person in charge making all the calls. Now it's going to be a combination of Coach Turgelback, Coach Wessel, Coach Armstrong, Coach Holtz. They're all going to be making a decision of what defense we'll be in and, you know, what situation at what given time.
Second down and 9. Play action fake. Here's the pass, and it is incomplete. Short the tight end, the intended receiver. Back one final note on Rick Minter. He accepted the Cincinnati job on December the 18th, so he missed all of the practice for the Cotton Bowl. Last year, Cincinnati's record was 8-3. They opened with Indiana in 1994. Indiana was 22nd in the nation, and Rick Minter, a native of Texarkana, not that far away, a couple hours drive from here, and so he came over for the ball game. Also, he said he wasn't a very good spectator. He had to do something.
And he didn't have tickets to the game. So he wanted a good seat.
And he's got a good seat. Third down and 9. Fully to throw. And it is incomplete. And once again, he is going to the tight end. And he's picked up by the freshman from Humboldt, Texas, from Notre Dame, Burt Berry.
And Burt Berry, the last 2 plays, did an excellent job. Usually this is what you want if you're Texas A&M. Man for man on the outside backer. Short gets the outside release, but Berry is not fooled by the little bit of a shove. The shove, rather. Short could have come up with the ball, but even so, he would have been a yard short for the first down.
You saw the effect of the win for Notre Dame a moment ago. Now, James Bennett of Texas A&M is kicking into that win. Michael Miller is the return man. And Notre Dame with the return. Good kick. Taken and dropped at the 40-yard line. A scramble for the ball.
Mike Miller, I think he came up with it, though. Looked like he fell on top. Of course, you never know in the bottom of the pile.
And Notre Dame has the football.
It is Miller, and it's interesting. Take a look at the bottom of the pile. We mention this because Mike Miller is 5'7", 157 pounds. And so right there you can see clearly he has the ball. But once there's all those bodies on top, you would want a guy there who's about 270 because the big bodies right there are going to start to argue. And right there you can see the right hand tucking it into his 157-pound body. And as a result, the Irish retain the football.
And a 39-yard kick into the win. Notre Dame at their own 39-yard line, first down. Cuts to the outside. Comes back, and Junior White, the walk-on from A&M Consolidate. That's a high school in College Station. He makes the tackle. He's the starting free safety for the Aggies. do they lose Rick Minner, they also will be losing their offensive coordinator, Skip Holtz. And he is going to the University of Connecticut. There is Skip. We talked to him yesterday. He had tears in his eyes about leaving. I mean, he's looking forward to the opportunity, but played at Notre Dame, coaches at Notre Dame, and he's going to miss it, no question about it. Oscar McBride, the tight end, pulls the pass in. Jason Atkinson makes the tackle. It's a first down for the Irish.
Well, many felt that Oscar McBride was going to be much like the past two first-round picks they had Derek Brown and Irv Smith. But on the way to those accolades, he struggled a little bit. He was benched for much of the season. And as a result, now at 6'5", 251 pounds, he has the ideal dimensions and he has all the talent. But he's struggling for whatever reason this season.
And Beckton gets the call. Slides to the left side and then is stopped by A&M. And mark it for no gain. Jason Atkinson, along with Steve Solari.
Well, Atkinson has been all over the field thus far, making tackles, and after that first drive, they've done a pretty good job of shutting down the Notre Dame running game.
And what did Atkinson tell us? He said it's a lot more fun to play the run. I'm tired of playing these teams that throw the ball so much. Beckton has rushed for 47 yards. He has 10 carries in the ballgame. Play action fake. Pressure from the backside. Here's the sack. Antonio Shorter, his second sack of the ballgame.
Well, Antonio Shorter comes on what's called a green dog, and what that is that he normally is supposed to take the running back in coverage. But take a look. You're going to see the number 56 comes up, and there's nobody on him. Nobody to block number 56 at the top of your screen. There he just slides right past the fullback. Terrible job of blocking.
Mark Edwards missing the block.
Just missing completely, and Shorter, 6'4", 215 pounds, goes right around him for, as you mentioned, his second sack of the game.
Third down and 13.
Remember earlier, too, Charlie, on the first down play that they had earlier in the series, Shorter came in and had almost another sack as well. So we're going to do something about number 56.
And Notre Dame wants a timeout. We are tied at 7. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. We're in the second quarter in the 58th Bobo Cotton Bowl.
There will be a road. It will not connect 2 points. It will connect all points. Its speed limit will be the speed of light. It will not go from here to there. There will be no more there. There will be no more there. We will all only be here. La, 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 la.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes.
Then I am Mr. Gallywikich.
You mean Dr. Galakowitz?
Yes, I am. This is so cool.
First time in a limo? Doctor?
In a limo this small.
If you want great, you buy Mobil 1, the advanced synthetic motor oil. It keeps your engine running like new. By the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. By GE, from aircraft engines to appliances, we bring good things to life. And by Pizza Hut, who reminds you that anytime's a great time to stop and smell the pizza.
Welcome back to the Cotton Bowl. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half. Notre Dame 7, Texas A&M 7. It's third down and 13. Ray Zellers is the fullback, and Lee Beckton is the tailback, and McDougal rolls to the right. We have a flag. The pass is caught by Dawson. They're going to say, no, he was out of bounds.
Dawson's left foot was out of bounds, and it's interesting. The holding call that's going to come back is on Antonio Shorter. He lined up over Todd Norman and forced Norman to tackle him. So Texas A&M is going to refuse this and make him kick.
That penalty will be declined. Fourth down.
It'll be fourth down and 13. So once again, the Irish will turn to Adrian Gerald. He has 2 punts, a 50-yard average. His long with the wind a moment ago, 66 yards. And right now, the Aggies do not have a return man, so they will go for the block. And he pops it straight up. And it comes down at the 20-yard line, takes an A&M bounce out to the 23.
That's the heads-up job by A&M, in effect saying, we don't think you're good enough to kick it out of bounds or have a touchback, and that's exactly what happened. Now they start on the 23-yard line.
22 yards on the kick. This is a great weekend of football here on NBC. Tomorrow on NFL Live, you'll hear from Joe Montana in his first season in the AFC and the chief Super Bowl prospects, plus Mike Ditka will have his first Iron Mike Awards, the guys who displayed true grit this year. And then our doubleheader lineup, all of the early games have playoff or home field implications. The key late game, Denver at the Raiders. If the Raiders win, they're in. And here at the Mobile Cotton Bowl, we are tied at 7. And we should see a face mask call, but we are not going to see it. And so Notre Dame is going to get away with one. Greg Hill, the ball carrier, and Jeff Burrows finally stops it.
Well, the argument there, Charlie, might be whether it was the face mask or the side of the helmet. If it's the side of the helmet, then the line judge isn't going to call it. But you're right. When his head was turned there, the crowd almost all at once screamed. Take a look now. Take a look at, is it the helmet or the face mask? The right hand comes out there. That right there, that's the side of the helmet. That's a good call by the official. That was not the face mask. Good call. Good non-call. Brian Anderson reaches out. Gets the ear flap instead.
And it's second down and 10. Fuller to throw. Lots of time. Scrambles. Now he throws. Pass is complete. Tight end Greg Short. First down. 35-yard line.
Well, when we talked about Greg Short being a key, we hadn't anticipated that he was going to throw to him. This is now the 7th time that they have thrown to Short. He just comes down the field, and he's going to hook up, but he does the right thing. He goes with the quarterback. Now he moves to the left because Pollock is scrambling to the left, finds the open spot in the zone just in time to catch the ball before he gets hammered.
And that is his second reception in the ballgame, 17 on the year. And he has 21 yards. First down. And going deep and overthrowing everybody as Tony Harrison could not get to it. He's the leading receiver.
This is the matchup that we anticipated.
Hold it. That was number 2. That's Danny McCrary. The reason we want to mention it, he's the fastest man in the Southwest Conference, and a couple of years ago in the 400-meter in high school, he ran a 45.74.
And again, Danny McCray is going against Bobby Taylor, and not just the Notre Dame coaches, but certainly the Texas A&M coaches are well aware of the groin problems that Bobby Taylor has had. Now, once again, they go deep against the guy that they feel is hurting.
Pulling has completed only 5 of 13 for 78 yards, and again, his head coach said we have to have the great game from the quarterback. Play action, pressure, pass this time is complete right side to De'Tron Snell. He goes out at the 45. They will mark it just short of the first down.
Now, that's a big play by Bobby Taylor because after he breaks the first tackle, it appeared that he was going to get the first down. Watch as he breaks the first tackle, and Bobby Taylor, number 21, is going to come up and knock him out of bounds right there, just before he's able to get to the stick. And now, interesting decision here as to whether or not they might want to put it up. Remember earlier, Charlie, they had a second in similar situation. They went with the play-action pass and went for the distance. It'll be interesting here if they might want to give that another try.
Third down, less than a yard for the first down. 8.5 minutes time remaining second quarter. Ball game tied at 7. A bobble on the exchange. Pulling in to reach back to cover it. And A&M retains possession, but it's going to be 4th down and 1.
Well, it's twice now that that's happened to Pullock, and that's unfortunate for a lot of reasons. One, obviously, is because they could have had the easy first down. But second of all, what I don't understand is effectively, as A&M had been running the ball up to this point, why do you go with the quarterback sneak when you have this triumvirate of fabulous tailbacks?
Well, we're going to find out because it's 4th down and 1. No, they looked for a moment as if they were going to go for it, but they call a timeout. They'll talk it over, and we'll have that decision when we come back to Dallas as we continue with our coverage of the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl.
It's Broadway for the NHL All-Star Game in 3 weeks on NBC.
Fourth down and 1, score tied, and along the sideline, Texas A&M were talking about going for it, but what I think they were also talking about was that they're going to try and pull Notre Dame offside, get a penalty, and get the fourth down that way.
They do the quick snap, the quarterback sneak by Twillig, and it is going to be close, depending upon the spot.
Again, I just don't understand. Here we talk about tailback U, and they go with that sneak. It just doesn't make any sense, and I believe they're short. Oh, is that a generous spot? Boy, I tell you what.
And this will make it official.
Charlie, from my vantage point, I don't think he got past the line. Boy, that was a generous, very generous spot.
And it is a first down for Texas A&M. Just over 8 minutes to go. First half, we're tied at 7.
Where's his forward momentum stop? Watch number 4. Let's see where the ball is and take a look at the line. Right there. Now look at the judge come running in inside the line. Right there, he comes in inside the line. Now all of a sudden at the last minute it fades a little bit. I think that A&M got a gift there.
Greg Hill is the tailback. And he comes to the outside. Cuts back at the 50. Slides just a little bit. He's going to pick up about 9, maybe 9.5 yards before Brian Young and Bobby Taylor make the stop.
And at the risk of beating a dead horse, you have to ask yourself the question, why didn't they just do that on fourth down, hand it to one of these outstanding tailbacks and let him go? Once again, misdirection. Hill shows his speed, cutting to the outside, getting away from the ebb and flow of the defensive line. He's punished there by Young and Taylor, but not before he gets 9.
And a look at Greg Hill. He said in our setup, when we have 3 tailbacks, when you get in there, you've got to make something happen in a hurry because you're not going to be in there very long. And here he is again. He is hit along the sideline and out of bounds around the 41. And it was Bobby Taylor who nailed him. And Greg Lane was also there.
Well, Bobby Taylor may have a groin hurt. He may not be able to run as he usually does, but he is hitting some people. Recall earlier, forcing that third down play, knocking the fullback out of bounds, and there he gave Hill quite a shot.
And it's a first down at the Notre Dame 41-yard line. Greg Hill, 6 carries, 46 yards rushing in the first half. With 6:58 left to go in the second period. An offset backfield. Hill to the right side, but Notre Dame was waiting for him. The freshman from Humboldt, Texas, Burt Berry, makes the tackle. The market for a yard to the 40, it'll be second down and 9. This is the 10th play of the drive for the Aggies. Notre Dame's touchdown coming on a 13-play, 92-yard drive. The Aggies touchdown coming on a 79-yard, 10-play drive. Both of those in the first quarter. We are tied 7-7. Long count, and we'll have a flag.
Well, Texas A&M had a hard time getting the right personnel that they wanted. They wanted the 3 wide receiver package, and they didn't get in quick enough.
Last year, they said about the young quarterback, he is a sophomore, true freshman last year, Fullick, for A&M, is that he was intimidated going against Notre Dame. He'd been recruited by Notre Dame, thought about going there. And when we talked to him, he said, that was more media hype. He said, it didn't bother me that much. I just didn't play well. He said, but this year I look forward to the pressure. I want to be the one who makes the plays. 2nd and 14. Good protection over the middle. Passes complete. Cody Harrison. First down inside the 25-yard line. The leading receiver for the Aggies.
We mentioned earlier the fact that the deep in route requires some pass protection. Watch number 3, and look at the time that Pullick is going to get. Comes down the field, finds the soft spot of that Notre Dame zone right in the middle, and Pullick delivers. 21-yard gain. Now, don't forget that this drive was really set up by the poor punt, 22-yard punt. That's one of the reasons why A&M has been able to get to good field position.
And the first down at the 24-yard line of Notre Dame. Rodney Thomas. He has such great strength. Todd mentioned earlier he's got one direction and one speed, and that is straight ahead.
Well, you know what's interesting about there at the end, when you see the pile up, take a look at the bodies. Now, normally when the pile gets pushed, it's when the offensive linemen fall in with the rest of them. But look at this. He's moving all these white shirts all by himself. None of his linemen jump in here to push him. Instead, it's nothing but white shirts. Oh, that's some powerful legs on the part of number 20.
19-yard line, second down and 5. Notre Dame has not been putting any pressure on A&M or their defensive linemen. And they will set up 4 on every rush. They don't bring the linebackers that often. Second down and 5. And here is Thomas again, close to the first down. He will spot it at about the 15. Let me tell you about this young man. He's very quiet. He is one of the most well-liked of all of the players for the Aggies. Last year, when he was the starting running back when Greg Hill was suspended in the Cotton Bowl, he started this year. When Greg Hill came back, no problem, but just the way that he handled it. They had an incident that happened in the dorm is that one of the vending machines broke loose and everybody was taking Cokes and candies and things and Dr. Peppers out of it. And all of a sudden, after all of this is gone, everybody's taking all the merchandise. They look around and he comes in and he's feeding it quarters, paying back to the machine. He's that kind of a young man. And this time he is nailed at the 15-yard line by Oliver Gibson and Justin Goheen.
Well, now, once again, maybe this isn't such a big decision, even though they do have the win with them. Venetoulias' kick last time, clearly, if it wasn't blocked, probably didn't have much of a chance. So going for it here may not be as big a decision as we might think.
Fourth down and 1. 3 tight ends in the set. Play action fake. Has it in wide open. Touchdown. De'Tron Smith on 4th and 1. Venetoulias with the extra point attempt. And it is good. And the Aggies of Texas A&M have taken a 14-7 lead over Notre Dame with 2:56 left to go first half.
Here's De'Tron Smith right here. Play action fake. Clearly, everybody is looking in the middle. He's just out of the flat. Everybody is completely fooled, and there he is on the swing route in for the 6. Easy touchdown. Great call on the part of Texas A&M.
And R.C. Slocum, normally a very conservative head coach, has become a riverboat gambler here in the Cotton Bowl. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. The Aggies lead it. yards, 14 plays, took just over 7 minutes for the Aggies to take the lead. Venetoulias kicking off. Wind has died down. Johnson takes it at the 2, Prince to the 10, 15. Leads to the 20, and down at the 20-yard line. Kyle Maxfield makes the tackle. That is the second tackle for him on special teams.
We mentioned Skip Holtz is also one of the coordinators who is leaving along with Rick Minter. Now is the time here. A little adversity on the part of Notre Dame, down 14-7. He's going to have to regroup here and get something going to provide a winning going-away present for his alma mater.
And a way, of course, that it worked out with University of Connecticut. The announcement and the trips and everything were around the bowl preparation. So Skip was there for all the preparation. He's the offensive coordinator for the Irish in the Cotton Bowl. Play action fake. Pretty good fake pass far side. And it is no good. Dawson couldn't hold on to it, and Aaron Glenn had the coverage. He has been a finalist for the Thorpe Award. Well, look at Notre Dame in the first half.
Well, that first possession was tremendous, as we mentioned, going 92 yards. Since that time, whatever adjustments that Bob Davies has made for the defense of the Aggies has paid off. 3 straight punts.
Notre Dame, second down and 10. Kevin McDougal has completed only 2 of 6 for 33 yards. And here's the reverse. And it's Miller with a flag down, and Miller is down. He'll have maybe a yard if the play stands up.
And the man that you just mentioned earlier, Charlie, Aaron Glenn, was not fooled at all. He sat there and he was waiting. Now this makes for an interesting decision. You want to push it back and play the game of field position, or do you want to force a third down right now? Because with 2:36 on the clock and whatever wind is there is going to be in the punter's face, you might want to take advantage of it.
And the offense will be declined. It'll be third down.
And it's third down. Let me give you and I see the wind. It's just kind of there now. Earlier, it wasn't gale force, but it was factor force, you might say. Third down and 10, just over 2.5 left, first half of the ball game. Zellers is the remaining back. McDougal to throw. Fires over the middle. It is pulled down by Derek Mays, and he is pulled down by Aaron Glenn and Junior White. It's going to be a first down.
And that is a big catch. If he doesn't come up with that ball, the way their punting game has been going, the last one a 22-yarder, this is a huge catch by Mays, and a tough catch. Hands catch, has to reach up, make the catch in between 3 Aggies. A lot of courage there on the part of Mays. Big first down for the Irish.
12 yards, first down, 32. Beckton jumps to the outside, cuts back, makes another move, has 9 yards, maybe 8. Sam Adams finally brought him down. Sam Adams, number 5, the All-America at Texas A&M.
And people who might be watching are saying, how can you run the ball in this situation? Remember in the college game, first down, stop the clock.
Second down and 2, 40-yard line. We've had movement on the right side, and that was Ryan Leahy, the guard who came up. He is the grandson of Frank Leahy.
Good ball. False start on the offense. Down remains the same.
When we talked to him, Lou Holtz said that, that he didn't see, he's such a calm kid. He didn't have the fire of his grandfather. And when we talked with Ryan, he said, and you'll see him come up here, number 72, he said, I have the fire inside, he said, but I do have my mother's quiet personality.
Well, on that last play, he didn't have his mental toughness either.
Second down and 7. 35-yard line. Play action, fake, here's pressure. Flips the tackle. Dumps it off, and it's dropped. Zellers was there, couldn't hang on to it. Teichelman and Shorter and Eric England were all over Kevin McDougal.
Well, Antonio Shorter might remind you of another 56, the way he is rushing the passer, and rather than insult your intelligence, just take a look at the speed. He actually gets held there by Aaron Taylor, gets up, cannot quite get McDougal down, but clearly in the first half, Antonio Shorter has been a thorn in the side of Notre Dame.
Third down and 7. The junior from Houston, Texas. He has 2 sacks in the ballgame. Pressure from the backside. There he is. And Shorter is there again with an assist from Sam Adams. What a ball game. Antonio Shorter has played defensively for the Aggies.
And heads up enough to turn around and call timeout. Boy, I tell you what, that's somebody who has his head in the game. Shorter matched up against the All-American. Many people feel the best offensive lineman in Aaron Taylor, but he just speed rushes around him.
Lou Holtz talking with his quarterback on the sideline.
Antonio Shorter right there on the top. Take a look at the speed. He just comes right around Aaron Taylor. Look at how quick he is. Right there at the legs of McDougal. He never had a chance.
Adrian Gerald will be kicking. And Aaron Glenn is the return man. Pretty good kick.
I just don't understand why he's back there that far. It just doesn't make any sense. I realize that Gerald had a 66-yard punt before, but since that time, every other punt has been less than 40 yards. Instead, this one ends up 52 yards.
The ball rolls to the 25-yard line. Be sure to stay with us at halftime. Hannah Storm will have all the scores and highlights. Mike Ditz's comments and analysis. A live report from the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame and Texas A&M bands and Destination Dallas. It's all coming up at halftime. One of the things we might point out, offensively for Notre Dame, they have missed their starting center, Tim Ruddy. He weighs in at 286. Lance Johnson, in only his 4th start, he's played less than a quarter before the Cotton Bowl. He is the center. He's giving away and added about 25 pounds, so it's really been a tough job for him. And the Irish have missed Tim Ruddy. He is out with an abdominal strain. And here is Greg Hill for the Aggies.
This is interesting because it might be indicative of the fact that maybe they're content just to run out the clock. Really, Aaron Glenn, I realize, leading in punt returns, a great athlete, but he made a bad decision there. If he stands at 35 yards, fair catches the ball, they're near midfield. Instead, by letting it bounce, that means that Texas A&M now is just forced to run out the clock. And Anthony Peterson for the Irish is in on defense. He made that last tackle. The young man that had the injury in the first game against Northwestern. Here's the handoff to Greg Hill, and they'll take the countdown to the halftime. But to wrap up the story on Anthony Peterson, the knee injury, tried to come back 5 weeks later against Pittsburgh, hurt it again, then out for the rest of the season. But back here for the Cotton Bowl game as we go down to John Dockery.
Coach, you seem to depart from your conservative game style by throwing the ball more and going for it on 4th down. Was that your game plan?
Well, we said going into the game that we felt like we had to have some balance on our offense to have a chance to move the ball on Notre Dame. To do that, our quarterback had to have a good game, and Corey's about 8 out of 16 right now and doing good. He's responded well to the challenge, and if he keeps doing that, we'll be able to move the ball.
You seem to make an adjustment on defense after the first Irish drive, which was very impressive. What did you do?
Well, they hit us on a reverse there. It was just a good play on their part, and they made a couple plays. We jumped off sides one time, but I think it's just more a case of settling down rather than anything we did.
Okay, Coach. Thank you.
It is halftime here at the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl in Dallas as we start the new year, and we're glad that you could share the holidays with us. And to start off the halftime here is the outstanding band of Notre Dame. We had a chance to talk with Lou Holtz.
Coach, first drive, team looked awesome offensively, and then what happened?
Well, we didn't have real good field position, and they've disrupted our rhythm. They're awfully good on defense. They've done that in the past, and, you know, we're trying to mix in some play-action passing. We're having trouble protecting the quarterback and just having trouble getting consistency.
What do you do differently in the second half?
Well, the thing we're going to do is we're going to come out and we're going to go right at them. We aren't going east-west. We're coming out and we're running right at them. We're going to run play-action pass them. They're going to be the quicker variety. Main thing we got to do on defense, we got to make some plays. We had a chance for some interceptions, et cetera. A lot of them out on 3rd and 17. We just haven't made many plays recently, and we haven't made any today.
Okay, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Charlie Jones.
Well, that sets the scene for the second half. How effective will that be?
Well, I thought it was very surprising, and I mentioned it throughout the first half, the number of times that Notre Dame on first down went to throw. You can see right there that the statistic that stands out to me is the rushing yards. 80 yards in the first half might not look like that big of a deal, but the reality is that Notre Dame averages 260 yards a game, and the bulk of those running yards came in that first 92-yard drive. So the adjustments that Texas A&M has made on defense have been outstanding.
Corey Pullig, the quarterback for Texas A&M, and if you were with us right at the end of the half, and his head coach, R.C. Slocum, was talking about the stats, and he had the stats right on him. He said, what was it? I think he said something like 8 out of 16. Well, that's, of course, what he has. He knew exactly what his quarterback was doing. And again, in case you joined us late, is that he told us this week when we talked to him that his quarterback had to have a good ball game, an outstanding ball game. It's just not a great ball game, not where he fires it in and throws between people. He just needs to have a really good, solid ball game.
Well, and also to make some plays. It's interesting, 8 for 16 might not be that big of a deal, but you recall he had a couple of big third down throws, and of course the touchdown pass on 4th down. Those are huge plays for the Aggies.
We're set to start the second half, and the Aggies will be receiving. Liam McElroy leads the nation in kickoff returns number 34. And Lou Holtz is sending the message, and that is we're going to kick to the deep men. This is the other returner, Billy Mitchell. He is to the 20, the 25, out to the 30, still going, 35 out of bounds, around the 36 or the 37-yard line. But Lou Holtz said, if I tell my kids we don't kick to them, I'm saying they are too good. So he goes to them, and A&M answers the challenge.
And what a difference that makes for an offense when they're able to start out beyond their 35-yard line. Great job by the wedge of Texas A&M. And watch at the end of this play. Cuts to the outside, and R.C. Slocum is going to sprint over there and complain a little bit about a late hit. Watch at the end of the play, and let's see where he's hit. Held on to right there by Bobby Taylor, and it was right on the sidelines. That was close.
Greg Hill and McElroy are the split back. Pump fake screen right side. It is incomplete.
Recall earlier, Charlie, that was the play on their first drive when they had 3rd and 17. That's the play they went to. The thing here is that you haven't done anything in the running game. You have to at least set it up with something.
For the Aggies, their first half possession.
Well, of course, fairly successful on 3 different occasions. You look at the blocked field goal. That was an excellent drive. Only after punting the one time, and, of course, they only had 2 plays before the end of the first half. So they've been very effective thus far.
Chris Gross comes back in, so he and Greg Hill are in the backfield for the Aggies. And here's Hill, right side. And he is stopped. And so far, what Lou Holtz said he was going to do, Notre Dame certainly has done. And that is come right at the Aggies and stop them. This time it was Brian Young, who this week, when we were talking with the All-America, did you notice what he had on? He had on a Florida State T-shirt and a Florida State cap.
Yeah, Lou Holtz complains about the fact that, you know, in the press all the time they talk about that Boston College game. They keep showing replays of the missed field goal. He said, hey, whatever happened to all those replays of our game against Florida State when we beat the #1 team?
3rd down and 9. Again, good protection. Pass is incomplete. Ryan Mitchell, the intended receiver, and that was a catchable ball.
Very catchable. That's twice now that Mitchell has dropped balls, and clearly the momentum now can shift back to Notre Dame. You know in the locker room very well that Lou Holtz told his defense, come out there and go 3 downs and force them to kick. But look at that ball. That's right there. That has to be caught, and that's going to be frustrating for Pollard to put it right on the money.
So James Bennett will be kicking. Miller is the return man. And here's the boot under pressure. And it is a short one.
14 yards, short, I guess.
Now let's go down to John Dockery.
Charlie, it was interesting watching Texas A&M come out of their locker room. They were animated, and they kept saying, hey, not like last year. Let's finish them off. Let's win this one, and let's not let it slip through our fingers the way we did in 1992. 93.
Last year, coming into the second half, Notre Dame led 7-0. Coming into the second half this year, the Aggies lead by 7, 14-7. Notre Dame's first opportunity on offense in the second half. They start at their own 49-yard line. And the fake and the keep by McDougal. And he scored the Notre Dame touchdown. And he's going to pick up about 9 yards on the play.
And that's a design play. It may have looked like he might have got lost and gone to the wrong side, but he's following behind the block of Todd Norman there, going to the right. Misdirect on that option.
2nd down and a yard. The give is to the first back through, that is Ray Sellers, and he's going to pick up the first down. He needed a yard. He got about 3, and Sam Adams, the All-American from Cyprus, makes the tackle.
Well, as you mentioned, that was a play that was very effective for them in the first drive, and they pretty much went away from that when they attempted to throw on first down. I don't anticipate too many throws here unless they absolutely have to. As we mentioned, Lou Holtz came out and said we just have to go right at him and see who's the most physical. That's what worked for him for one drive, and for whatever reason, it disappeared in the last three.
First down, 39-yard line of the Aggies. We have flags and whistles and the possibility of a false start against Notre Dame.
Dead ball, false start on the offense.
It'll be first down and 15. The ball will go back to the 44-yard line. Texas A&M 14, Notre Dame 7.
I thought that's kind of amusing. The official going over to explain the penalty to Lou Holtz. He had to look at his face like, yeah, no kidding, I get it.
The give is to Zellers, and a flag is down.
This might be offsides. It looks to me like Sam Adams is lining up in the neutral zone. His head looks a little bit over the football.
Adams, number 95.
Defense offside. 5 yards, goes first down.
In high school, Sam was an offensive lineman, and then his dad was working with his dad, of course, a great offensive lineman in the NFL. And then because the team needed him in high school, he moved him over to defense. And he said, well, I don't want to go. And his dad said, well, it's for the team, and that's what you should do. And, of course, he's become an outstanding defensive lineman. And when I asked him this week, you thought about going back to offense, he said, oh, no. No, no, no. He said, in the pros, the defensive linemen make more money.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I take that back. Unless he played left tackle. Then it's a different story.
First and 10. And here is Beckton to the 33. And Ray Mickens makes the tackle along with the ever-present Antonio Shorter for the A&M.
Just to follow up a little bit on that Sam Adams story, it was interesting when we saw him yesterday. We went back over to the hotel. He had an interesting story regarding going to the dinner table. He said as he'd go to the dinner table, his dad actually blocked him out, and he had to make defensive rush moves. I was thinking to myself, when was the last time anybody had to make a rip move to get his Cocoa Puffs?
He had to fight his way to the food. And here is Zellers again. And so Notre Dame going to strict power of football, and the first back through is the fullback, Ray Zellers, the junior from Pittsburgh.
Well, it certainly makes sense. You figure that the three major runners for the Irish all average over 5 yards to carry. And I think it's a situation where Lou Holtz looked at his offensive line and said, hey, if this is the best offensive line in the country, we're averaging over 5 yards to carry. Well, then that should mean 2 carries and we get a first down. Certainly we can get 10. And we take a look at the numbers there. 2 of them over 6 yards to carry. Very impressive.
And the out to the pitch. Beckton has it. He's to the 20, the 15. Has the first down stop. As he'll lead maybe to the 14. Let's see where they get the mark. Boy, McDougal waited till the last second. Mickens finally with the tackle and a gain of 14 yards on the play.
Very fortunate. A bad play here on the part of Aaron Glenn. He might even have been able to pick that off. Instead, he anticipates Beckton going to the outside. McDougal very fortunate to get away with that one. Take a look at Eric Taylor coming back and just absolutely nailing Eric England.
First down, 15-yard line. And here's Beckton to the right side. And he is brought down by Larry Jackson. Gain of 3 to the 12-yard line. It's going to be second down and 7.
Also shows the repertoire of the offensive plays in the Notre Dame playbook. That's only the second time that they've run the pure option in this game. Recall earlier, that was the 19-yard touchdown run by McDougal.
He gives some credit back to Lance Johnson, the center for Notre Dame. Near the end of the first half, he thought he might be getting a bit tired. Well, he has his second win. That's center for the Irish. And here is the pitch to Beckton. Flips the tackle, flips another one. He's inside the 5 and then out of bounds. About 2.5 yards away from the end zone. Jason Atkinson finally got to it.
Texas A&M actually has this defense. Looks like come from the outside, right on top of the quarterback. Not really a good pitch. And look at the poor tackling coming up, just running through mid-tackle. Lee Beckton doing a good job of going north and south. Poor tackling on the part of the Texas A&M secondary.
And I believe it was Chris Colin. He has been bothered by a ligament injury in his knee, but he is there. And here's the full half. and a change at quarterback. That means that Paul Thela is the quarterback with the T formation. Zeller scores for Notre Dame. And what Luo said he was going to do, the Irish did in their first offensive possession of the second half when they started at their own 49-yard line and moved to 51 yards for the score. And now Pendergast for the tie. And it is good. We are tied 14-14 in the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl.
When in doubt, run behind your All-American offensive tackle. Look at number 75 clearing the way. Zellers comes in for the 2-yard score that ties the game at 14.
1. The Advanced Synthetic Motor Oil. It keeps your engine running like new. By the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. By American Airlines. Something special in the air. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
We're tied at 14.
Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator, not very happy what he saw out there, and you can see he's more than just a little bit animated with his troops. Going back to exactly what they did in the first half. First half, Notre Dame gets the ball and drives the length and goes for a touchdown. He's chewing people out with regards to the option play in particular. His secondary support is not up to snuff.
Kevin Pendergast to kick off for Notre Dame. And Billy Mitchell is...
Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. By American Airlines, something special in the air. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
We're tied at 14.
Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator, not very happy what he saw out there, and you can see he's more than just a little bit animated with his troops. Going back to exactly what they did in the first half. First half, Notre Dame gets the ball and drives the length and goes for a touchdown. He's chewing people out with regards to the option play in particular. His secondary support is not up to snuff.
Kevin Pendergast to kick off for Notre Dame. And Billy Mitchell is the return man. Across the 20, the 25, still going to about the 28-yard line.
Normally when Notre Dame goes to the full house backfield, they get the ball to Burris to go to the right side. But take a look at Akers and Taylor just caves down this side. McBride kicks out, and there's just an absolute cavern here for Zellers to run through, and he goes through practically untouched.
And when we talked this week with Aaron Taylor, we asked if his mother, Marty, if she was going to be here, because he always plays well when she's in the stands. And jokingly, she said, well, it's not for the national championship. I can't afford to fly in.
Whoa.
But he said the neatest things about his mother that I'll give you after this play. And here is McElroy around the right side. And he is run out of bounds by Jeff Burrow.
How is it that an offensive tackle and a speedster like this are brothers? I know Reggie's a friend of mine, and those are two very distinct body types right there. No offense to you, Reg, if you're listening. But this is the future. This is the future star for Texas A&M. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even say future. I guess if you run back 3 kickoffs for touchdown, you're a star already.
Showing early signs of Heisman Trophy possibility. Here's the fake. And the throw off of the fake is complete. And here is Chris Gross, the fullback from College Station. Now, normally he's a blocker, and a blocker.
The fullbacks for Texas A&M have been key in the passing game. Notre Dame comes with a blitz from the right side of your screen, and that enables him to be wide open downfield. With the blitz, there's nobody on him. Man for man with the inside backer. That's a mismatch, and as a result, Gross gets a big first down.
And the key block by the tight end, Greg Short. Notre Dame 40-yard line. Ball game tied 14-14. About 3 yards on the play.
Interesting, when talking with R.C. Slocum, he made the point that he said, you know, Greg Hill is really a patient runner. He hangs back there, smart. He said that Rodney Thomas has the one speed, and he said that McElroy had a little of both. which I thought was an interesting assessment of that young man's skills.
McElroy this year returns rushing and receiving. Every time he has touched the ball for A&M, he has averaged 13.5 yards. Fuller to throw, a little swing near side, and it is the speedster Danny McCray who pulls it in. Jeff Burris with the stop.
Once again, the secondary for Notre Dame is opting for the blitz. Bobby Taylor comes off the corner on the blitz. Take a look at number 21 right in the middle of your screen. Once again, that forces Notre Dame into man-for-man coverage, and Pullock does a nice job getting the ball out close to the first down.
The ball marks just outside the 30-yard line. And it's 3rd down and 1. Now remember, 3rd and 1, that has been a nemesis for A&M. They have struggled with this particular down. The quarterback thinks this time it worked for Corey Fuller.
Have I made it clear that I'm not a fan of the quarterback sneak?
Yes.
I just don't understand it. Great call, obviously, in the first half when they had 4th and 1 to go the play-action fake. But here at this point in the field, they want to make sure they got the first, and Pullock able to hold on to the snap, gets it.
And if you were with us in the first half, 4th and 1 play-action fake and the touchdown pass from Corey Fuller to Detron Smith. And that covered 15 yards in the score. We're now tied 14-14. We have just under 9 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Play-action fake. Has a man wide open, and it's Gross, the fullback, with his 2nd reception of the ballgame. And he is out right at the first down marker. Brian McGee makes the stop for Notre Dame as he took him out of bounds.
One of the reasons here is they're asking their middle linebackers to cover their fullbacks coming out of the backfield. You can see number 49 completely fooled. He came in with a play-action fake, and that means that Gross wide open once again down the sidelines. The fullbacks for Texas A&M becoming an integral part of the passing game for the Aggies.
It is a first down. So the ball is spotted just inside the 20-yard line, and it's a first down. A drive that started for A&M at their own 28-yard line. Eight minutes and 46 seconds. That's the time remaining in the 3rd. Tie ball game, 14-14. And McElroy ducks to the outside. Another move to the outside. He's to the 10, the 5, and he is down around the 3-yard line.
Charlie, earlier in the game, we were critical of Mitchell dropping a couple of passes, but this time he does an outstanding job blocking downfield. Take a look at your screen, number 18. Look at the block that he is going to throw. That's going to enable McElroy to get to the outside. He blocks on 2 different people. McElroy, with his great speed, gets to the outside, but not without the block by Mitchell.
And a gain of 16. First down and goal, 3-yard line. The fake to Hill, the reverse, and the stop. The give was to Rodney Thomas. LaShane Sadler was waiting for him, got him right at the ankle.
A big play by Sadler because otherwise he walks in. Good call by Texas A&M because very predictable to go to the right, just step in. And here, take a look at the reverse. And as you mentioned, there's number 2 waiting on it. Big tackle there, or else Thomas walks in.
Calvin Collins, the freshman, couldn't hold him off long enough. The ball at the 2-yard line.
Remember, Charlie, when we talked with Lou Holtz earlier, he said throughout the entire season we have yet to have a goal line stand. I'd have to say this would be an opportune time for one.
It is Hill right side, and he is pulled out. Greg Hill, who has scored a touchdown in the ballgame, comes up just short. And it's going to be 3rd down and goal to go.
Now, clearly up to this point, if you've been watching with us, R.C. Slocum's mentality has been this is 4-down territory. Short of a big loss here on 3rd down, I would anticipate that Texas A&M is going to go for it all the way.
Myron Cobbins with the last tackle. He got him at the ankle.
Let me say, too, that it makes a big difference for the head coach to be thinking that here instead of field goal. So if he realizes he has two different tries here, he might come back with a standard run and then maybe go for play option on fourth down.
Rodney Thomas over the touchdown A&M.
Harrison, Dawson, Collins, Matthews, and Short. They're the ones that push back the bigger Notre Dame front people. And that enables Thomas to leap over the top.
Darrell Red to snap. Stormy Case to hold. Barry Ventulius is the kicker. And it is good. And the center on the snap, Darrell Red, in 3 years at A&M has not had a bad snap. The touchdown for the Aggies. They take the lead. We'll be back with the kickoff. Step to kickoff. Clint Johnson, the return man for Notre Dame. And this one is going to go out of bounds. They'll bring it out to the 35-yard line. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. That is the time remaining. We're in the third quarter of the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl. Don't go away. We'll be right back to Dallas. Notre Dame has the ball. They trail by 7. A first down at their own 35-yard line. And the handoff is to Lee Beckton. Beckton cuts back and is brought down at the 50-yard line. He'll pick up 15 shorter with the tackle. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm with Alan E. Murray, the chairman and CEO of Mobile Corporation. And what do you think of the game so far?
Hey, John, this is great. We got a good one this time. Anybody can win this game yet.
A spectacular one. I know you re-upped for the for 5 years, from what, 96 through 2000?
Yeah,
Something
2000,
must be working
right.
out.
Well, everything's going well. Southwest Conference, Dallas, the people, Notre Dame. What more can you want? Yeah, we're very happy to be associated with the Cotton Bowl.
Thank you very much for joining me down here.
John, great pleasure to see you.
Great, thank you.
And here's the fake of the handoff and the keeper again by Kevin McDougal. And that's the second time in the ballgame they have run that particular play, and both times it has been very effective.
Well, again, only down by a touchdown. Notre Dame doesn't have to panic. They don't have to throw the ball. Plenty of time left. 6:19 and counting here in the third quarter. And Notre Dame clearly reestablished their running game in that last drive.
Lee Beckton, by the way, has rushed for 102 yards in the ballgame. He is only the 5th running back in Notre Dame history, only the 5th to have a season of more than 1,000 yards. And here he comes again. The other 4, Vegas Ferguson, Alan Pinkett, Reggie Brooks, and Al Hunter. You go back to 1920, and George Dipp, he rushed for 827 yards, but that was in 9 games, an 8.1-yard average for the Gipper.
Of course, in the case of Pinkett, he did it 3 times. Bob Davies a little bit concerned here. The shouting didn't seem to have much effect, because right now the defensive line of Texas A&M is going backwards.
Second and short. Play action fake. All alone in the flat is Ray Zeller. 12-yard line. First down, Notre Dame.
Great call by the company of Holt and Son. In that case, running so effectively, second and short. No, they can get it on third down, so why not go for the play action fake? Look at how he holds the ball. Zeller's comes out into the flat. Very similar to what Texas A&M did on their 4th and 1 touchdown for a 19-yard gain.
They spotted officially at the 13-yard line, first down. Blake Johnson comes across in motion. Back to the ball carrier. To the 6-yard line. He's running behind the blocking of All-America Lombardi Award winner Aaron Taylor. And I mentioned Aaron Taylor's mother, and during the season when we talked with this young man, and he is one of the truly special ones, he said, "My mother is my best friend, my role model, my idol. She's the reason I'm what I am." And that's got to be the nicest thing I've ever heard. The young man, a compliment to his mother, Marty. Now we go with the full house, and Taylor is the quarterback. And the ball carrier is Jeff Burris. Yes, the same Jeff Burris that you saw earlier in the ball game on defense. When they go to the full half, he has scored 7 touchdowns this year. He was Notre Dame's most valuable player because he does it all, and he really does. Offensive, defensive, special teams. When you need somebody, well, Jeff Burris is always there.
Trying to do that Notre Dame version of Deion Sanders. Remember the Florida State game, Charlie? He had 2 touchdowns.
And it is a first down. So it's going to be first down and goal to go. Aggies out in front by 7. And we're moving on the 4-minute mark, time remaining. We're in the third quarter. And don't go away. We've got the conclusion of this one, and it's on to the Orange Bowl. Dick Enberg and Bob Truffy and the battle for the national championship. And again, the full house back here. Mark Edwards scores. So we have a touchdown, answering touchdown here in the second half.
The defenses that seemed so stalwart a little bit in the first half are nowhere near that now. Basic play goes to the fullback off left tackle, and once again, big gap for Edwards to find. Barely touched as he vaults over into 6.
Pendergast for the tie. Good snap. The hold is there. Almost blocked, but it's good. We are tied 21-21, but there's a flag down.
Well, they have to call Sam Adams. Take a look at, they're going to have to, here's the replay of the touchdown, and we'll get back. When we come back, we'll see that Sam Adams ran into the kicker. I'll never know. He's right in front. How does he miss this? Goes underneath his armpit, and he collides with Pendergrass, and that's the reason why running into the kicker is going to be an additional 5 yards for Notre Dame here on the kickoff. Trying to explain it. I don't get it. You were so close. How did you miss that?
So the kickoff comes from the 40-yard line. And McElroy takes it a yard deep. The leading kickoff returner in the nation. Almost breaks it. He comes ever so close.
And that's the very reason why they have Bobby Taylor on the kickoff coverage. Is for that reason right there as a safety to save a big return.
Be sure to stay with us as coming up next, the Federal Express Orange Bowl, number 1 Florida State, number 2 Nebraska here on NBC. That is coming up after the conclusion of the 58th Bobo Cotton Bowl. We have 3:41 left in the third, and we are tied here, 21-21, and the Aggies have the ball at their own 33-yard line. And Greg Hill is swarmed under. Jim Flanagan, number 44, was there for Notre Dame. He was there. We're surprised that he is even here today. Last night, he had the terrible flu. You know, he was throwing up all night. He was so sick, they had to get the team doctor out of the gala, out of the ball, and bring him to his room. But he did not want to miss this one. And you remember the Florida State game? You picked him as your outstanding player.
I did, but when you're from the town of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, that just sounds like a tough town. You know, he's going to play.
Here's the fake. He wanted to set up the screen. Now he's throwing it away. Smart play with the quarterback. He had the play action fake. He wanted the screen. The screen was saturated by Notre Dame. He ran out of time. He threw it away.
Well, an even smarter play by Justin Goheen because he had man-for-man coverage on the double screen. Watch in the middle, number 54. You're going to see when he throws off to the left, he has man-for-man. And what that means in the screen is that he's not backpedaling into a zone. He knows exactly where the ball is going, and Pullick had to throw it away as a result.
And his third down and 11. We are tied 21-21. Hill is offset to the right, and he blocked and Pullick throws. And they're going to say yes. It is caught it out of bounds. Brian Mitchell.
Now let's see where his foot gets down. His foot right there. And the toe of his right foot, is the right foot down? That would be the question. Take a look at the end of the play. Only one foot in college football. Where's the catch? There's the left foot, just inside the chalk. You see it kicked up the chalk there.
And the white chalk it kicked up was on the hash mark and not the out of bounds. They mark it at the 43-yard line. Third down and 11, and they convert first down.
I don't know if that necessarily makes up for his other 2 drops, but at this point, I'm sure Pullick's grateful.
It's going to help anyway. And the fullback, Chris Grocer, has a couple of receptions in the ball game series. Brian Hamilton and Jim Flanagan make the tackle. Spotted at the 45-yard line. It'll be second down and 8. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the third. Notre Dame 21 and Texas A&M 21.
Well, Texas A&M needs to get back to throwing a little bit on first down. They're getting a little bit predictable in this drive, and they certainly don't want to keep coming up 3rd and 11, especially the way Notre Dame's been running the football.
Play action fake to Hill. Now pressure, steps away. Backside pressure, and he is finally wrestled down. But Corey Pullick at 6'3", 199 pounds, was standing in there as long as he possibly could. Second time that he has been sacked. Jeremy Naw and Brian Young will split this side.
And give credit to the secondary of Notre Dame. Play action fake. That keeps people up. Brian Young is the first one. Now Flanagan, who bumps the man who was in play action, comes late. Now look at how Pullick avoids a lot of these hits. Still stands up, still scrambling before Brian Young finally puts him to the turf. As you mentioned, 6'3", 190 pounds. He really shows a lot of guts here hanging in there.
And Brian Young's got about 75 pounds on him. He finally brought him there. 3rd and 14. Excellent coverage in the secondary of Notre Dame. There was nobody to throw to. Brian Young and Ronaldo Wins in getting the Pullick. Again, we're tied 21-21, and A&M will be kicking.
Secondary of Notre Dame doing the job. Pullick, look at the time he has. Plenty of time, but look at the coverage. Nothing but white shirts all over the maroon jerseys, and as a result, he has to run forward for a 3-yard gain, but not nearly enough for the first down.
James Bennett with the kick, and he fails this one deep. It sticks to the ground at the 4. It is going to be down at the 1-yard line. Darrell Redd, the center, was downfield 55 yards on the kick. He's going to mark it out around the 3-yard line. That's where the touching took place. And Notre Dame takes over deep in their own territory in a tie ball game. 21-21 with 33 seconds left in the third quarter here in the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl. Rolling out of the end zone, the pass is complete to Lake Johnson. And now we have a little extracurricular pushing and shoving. We haven't seen much of that in this ball game. It's been a well-played, very tough football game as we'll take the countdown now to the end of the third quarter.
Very interesting call on the part of Notre Dame. Very predictable. You would have thought they're just going to run the ball in the middle, try to get some field position, but Holtz wants to take a chance and move things downfield. That's why he threw the ball to Dawson.
Into the third, we're tied 21-21. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen, and John Dockery. We start the fourth quarter in the 58th edition of the Mobile Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame and Texas A&M tied 21-21. Second down and 5. The Irish at their own 8-yard line. The handoff is to the fullback, Ray Zellers. We go back to Kevin McDougal throwing from the end zone on first down, and when we talked to him this week, he said, you know, I never try to think what Coach Holt will do in a game. I just try to hang loose. And he does, and does it very well.
Well, this is an important series for Bob Davies and the defense of Texas A&M. They got what they wanted in the punt, putting him down there in bad field position. Now, I think they have to take some chances with their inside backers and start to fill some of the running lanes as they did in the first half when they were able to stop the running game a little bit.
It is a first down, and Beckton tries to battle his way back just to the line of scrimmage. Lance Teichelman was the first man to get to him for Texas A&M, and he caused the logjam, and then he was joined by his friend.
Well, that's exactly what they ended up doing. You mentioned Teichelman. He defeats Johnson at the point of attack, but take a look at the inside backers now. And here comes the strong safety starting to come in and fill the gaps instead of waiting back and letting it come to them. As you mentioned, Teichelman in on the play, but the inside backers pursuing as well.
Second down and 10. Of the reverse back to the end zone. Cannot scramble out of the grab of Sam Adams. Adams at 6'4", 295 pounds with unbelievable quickness.
The interesting point is that Adams saw the reverse coming, but he didn't know whether or not it was going to be a fake, if they were actually going to hand the ball off. Take a look. From the right of your screen, he's going to come in, and he's actually waiting. Okay, right there, he gets the buck. Now he gets up and scrambles after him, and as you mentioned, Charlie, 295 pounds, able to run down McDougal from behind. Great athletic play by number 95. Coming up off of all fours, pursuing, persistent, going after the quarterback, big play.
Fourth sack for the Aggies in the ballgame, third down 14. Here comes the blitz. He has to throw it. It's the middle screen to Dawson. He comes back over. He's got the first down the sideline. Lake Dawson still with the ball outside the 40. You may remember this play, the middle screen at the end of the first half a year ago. Steve Solari finally makes the stop. That was third down and 14.
On the inside, you're going to see that Dawson's going to come in here, and he's going to make the catch. Looks like come from the outside. Here comes Shorter right in his face, but there's Dawson coming in, and great open field running. You know, Lake Dawson is somebody who only had 25 catches this year, and people said, we don't really know how good he is. But take a look at what he's done after the catch, and Lou Holtz says that he is going to be tremendous if he can get drafted by a team that throws the ball 30 to 40 times a game. He's that good of a receiver.
First down at the 45-yard line. And Mark Edwards, who has scored a touchdown, was the ball carrier. And a gain of 3 to the 48. It'll be second down and 7. We're moving on the 12-minute mark. Time remaining in the ball game. We are tied 21-21. Edwards and Beckton are in the backfield. And it's a fake. And it was incomplete. Gerald, the intended receiver, and it was broken up by Aaron Glenn.
Well, that's why he's the Thorpe finalist. One of the toughest things to defend for a defensive back is that deep comeback. The wide receiver looks like he's going up, and then at about 15 yards, he plants his feet and comes back, and Glenn at 5'10", 182 pounds is right with him. Take a look right here. Look at the close by number 31. And what I mean by the close is how quick he gets to the ball. And look at the vertical leap by a man who's only 5'10". In talking with R.C. Slocum, they had a couple of great cornerbacks here. Kevin Smith, now a starter for the Dallas Cowboys, and Pat Palmer, a former All-Pro with the Los Angeles Rams, and he said that Glenn is better than both.
High praise indeed. It's 3rd and 7. We have flags dropped.
Good ball. False start on the offense.
So they'll mark it back to the 43.
Now, don't forget, though, that earlier in this drive, the big play to Dawson was a 3rd and 15. So I'll be interested to see here what Bob Davies decides to do, if maybe he's going to backpedal with his people, go with the zone, not take the chances that he did earlier with the blitz and some of the man-for-man coverages.
Meanwhile, Derek Mays had already set himself wide to the right side. He was not in the huddle. It's 3rd down and 12. the time in the world. The pass is complete to Beckett. He is hit immediately by Aaron Glenn. Oh, he nailed it.
He read the play so fast, Charlie. I'm surprised that he didn't go for the interception. They did exactly what we anticipated. They went back into the zone coverage. Take a look at how quick Glenn gets here. If he'd have reached out, he might have had the interception. Look how quick he is right there. Instead of going for the knockout hit, if he keeps his eyes on the ball, he might get it and go the distance.
And here's the kick. It is high, and it is short. And it takes an Aggie bounce down at the 36-yard line.
Good.
18 yards. That's it. Back in a moment.
One, the Advanced Synthetic Motor Oil. It keeps your engine running like new. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By the United States Marine Corps, you've got to be tough to play. You've got to be smart to win. And by MCI, the company that brings you proof positive.
10 minutes and 56 seconds left in the ball game. Notre Dame 21, Texas A&M 21. Aggies with the ball at their own 36-yard line. And Hill makes some big mistakes. You've got to take your loss. He would have lost maybe 3 on the play. Brian Hamilton got him. It is a big loss. But right now, we bring you the proof positive instant replay.
Well, the big play of the game thus far has been that 4th-and-1 play action. Everybody anticipates it's going to be a run. He gets it out to Detron Smith, and he can practically walk into the end zone. That is the MCI proof positive big play of the day.
And as we come back to live action, the ball at the 25-yard line. Second down and 21. And here is Hill, and he is tripped up at the 28-yard line. It was Bryant Young who brought him down. Gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 18. Remember, we started, if you're with us in the first half, we had a pretty good-sized wind with us, but the flags are all now hanging limp around the Cotton Bowl. So it has become a very still but very nice evening here in Dallas. Perfect weather today. 62 degrees at kickoff time. 3rd down and 18. Pulling that pressure, he rolls away from it. He throws, the pass is complete. Harrison has it. Touchback with a 1st down. That was 3rd and 18. Pulling scrambled. As he said, we want to go to the next level. We have to earn their respect. He earns it here with a 27-yard play to Tony Harrison, the all-time yardage leader at A&M.
Charlie, I can't remember a game where so many 3rd and very longs they've been able to come up with. Give Pullock the credit here. He's able to throw across his body and get the ball to Harrison, who does a nice job running after the catch, but that's all Pullock there. The sophomore quarterback is the one that made that one happen.
9 minutes left in the game. 1st down, 47-yard line. And here is Hill. Still on his feet. But the defense of Notre Dame, this time led by Thomas Dyce, they just string him out all the way along the line of scrimmage. And he never could make his cut upfield.
Of course, in this case, Charlie, he must have heard your advice, because instead of turning and going the other direction, losing another 5 yards, he just opted to go out of bounds.
2nd down and 15. The ball at the Aggies' 49-yard line. More than 69,000 on hand here today for the 58th edition of the Mobile Cotton Bowl. Billy throws, is intercepted. Pete Burson. And remember the Boston College game, he let one slip away. He said, I think about it every day. Perhaps this will erase a little bit of that memory.
He makes a good play on the ball, but Pullock not happy with himself, and justifiably so. He looks right where it is he's going to throw the entire time. Bursic cuts in front of Mitchell and makes a nice catch.
First turnover of the ball game. We'll be back in a moment.
Here, he finds a man that's going to come into his zone and decides to stay with him, and he makes a tremendous play. And Charlie, as you pointed out, I don't know if this necessarily atones for the one he dropped against Boston College, but he's got to feel pretty good about that one right now.
Steve's father, Bob, played for the Dallas Cowboys. What years? 1960, 1961, the first 2 years. Their home field, the Cotton Bowl. He played right here. First turnover of the ball game. 21-21 tie. Notre Dame at their own 45. Here is the option and the key by Kevin McDougall. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Charlie, Notre Dame offensive linemen were complaining when you come over to Coach Joe Moore about hearing the audibles. It got awfully loud down here, and McDougall, as you know, is doing a lot of audibling at the line of scrimmage. Half of the line couldn't hear it, the other half could, so it was a real problem when it fouled up their offense on that last series. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Doc.
Hey, but Doc, that's part of the game, right, Chief?
Well, you got 70,000 there.
That's all part of it, man.
We're moving on the 8-minute mark. Time remaining here in Dallas. And then, of course, it's on to Miami. And the Orange Bowl, number 1 and number 2 for the national championship here on NBC. Beckton straight ahead. One of his teammates said that Beckton has only one move, but nobody can stop it. He said, in practice, we know the move. We still can't stop him. And the coaches say everybody knows the move, and they're right. They don't stop it.
It reminded me.
The move.
That's right. It reminded me a little bit of something Phil Simms once said to me about Reggie White. He said, "You know what? You know, the guy's really not that creative. All he does is bull rush." I said, "Yeah, so." Same thing with Beckton. All he does is churn out 100-yard games. Now I believe this is his 7th straight.
Yes, it is. Third down and 1. Gellers is the carrier, and he's going to pick up the first down to the 44-yard line.
Well, down to almost 7 minutes and counting. Clearly, this is going to be the philosophy of Notre Dame, coming back to what Holt said coming out. They're just going to grind it out, take some time off the clock, and if they can get in the end zone or kick the field goal, force the Aggies, who have struggled the last 2 series, to score.
The ball just inside the 45-yard line of A&M. And a first down. And there is the idol. That's what Dockery was talking about. And there's the noise as the Aggie fans respond. And he goes deep into coverage, and it's almost intercepted. Lake Dawson drawing triple coverage just off of the fingertips. Aaron Glenn was there for A&M.
Charlie, it looked like triple coverage, but it's Aaron Glenn all the way. The free safety ran back, and he had single coverage. Take a look at number 31, stride for stride with Lake Dawson. That's why this guy's going to be a first-round draft pick right here. With him, stride for stride, Dawson goes up trying to make the play, but look where Glenn is. Glenn's actually anticipating the interception and would have had it had not Dawson got a finger on it. Good coverage by number 31.
Second down and 10. Is pulled down. Lee Beckton gets the call.
And that's Antonio Shorter coming off from the outside backer, making the play, having a tremendous game. 3 sacks in the first half. He's got to have at least 10 tackles up to this point.
And you made the comment on Lee Beckton. This is the 7th time this season that he has rushed for more than 100 yards. Well, he's done it 7 straight weeks now as far as games are concerned. And during that stretch, he has not fumbled the ball once.
Wow, that is impressive.
Third down and 8. There's a blitz up the middle, and the pass is incomplete. The blitz pressure by Larry Jackson. Right over the center, Lance Johnson replacing Tim Ruddy, the second-team All-America for Notre Dame.
2 flags are down here, Charlie. Good anticipation on the part of Bob Davies to come with the inside backer blitz, and it was not picked up, trusting the man-for-man coverage.
Pass hit an ineligible receiver. 5-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
Bob Davies.
A very costly loss of down penalty. It'll be 4th down. Notre Dame will be kicking. And Lance Johnson, he is doing everything. He is the long snapper for Notre Dame, and he has stayed in there. He has had some problems, the weight that he gives away, but he has had also some outstanding plays, and he has also had very good snaps for the Irish.
Now, finally, Lynn is at about 35 yards. He's yet to return a kick, and he leads the nation in punt returns. I'll be interested to see if Peary finally does return one.
Mill with the kick that is short, and they stay away from it again. It's going to roll to the 10-yard line. 33 yards on the kick, 5 minutes and 43 seconds left. We're tied at 21. The 1988 Cotton Bowl, the first time these two schools got together was New Year's Day 6 years ago. And that was the last time the Southwest Conference won the Cotton Bowl. Quarterback Bucky Richardson ran for 96 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And A&M coach Jackie Sherrill celebrated. And 6 years later, Notre Dame and Texas A&M tied 21-21.
Neither of the previous contests were terribly competitive, but this one certainly is. This is great.
And here is Hill waiting on his blockers, and the defense of Notre Dame strings them out. Now, while we were away, this is what was taking place on the Notre Dame sideline.
Lou Holtz is famous for how he puts the pressure on his quarterbacks, and I think that one of the things he might be talking about here is McDougal has done an outstanding job from time to time of audibling. But if he gets predictable in how he audibles or in the rhythm, then Bob Davies is going to put some different defenses out there. And in the chess game that goes on between coordinators and quarterbacks and linebackers, certainly in the last series, A&M won it.
And McDougal told us, he said, Lou Holtz is in our face so much in practice, it's great fun to play the game. Willing to throw, the pass is complete to Groves. A scramble for the ball. It is out of bounds, and it will belong to A&M.
Groves very fortunate there. We mentioned in the first half how effective they've been throwing to the fullback in the flat. Catches the ball, and then the ball gets stripped. Good play by the defense of Notre Dame as the ball pops out. He cuts upfield. I believe that might have been Taylor. And look right there how close the ball is.
That was Bobby Taylor.
But it wasn't. Bobby Taylor's really hitting some people today.
And he's playing with a very painful groin pull.
Normally you don't think of cornerbacks as hit guys, but he's put a lick on some people.
3rd down and 13. Fuller's pass is complete to Hill. He is wrapped up at the 15-yard line. Steve Burstich making the stop. It's going to be 4th down, and A&M will kick it away with 4.5 minutes and counting time remaining in this tie ball game.
So many times people see those plays, they say to themselves, well, wait a minute, he didn't run the route long enough to get the first down. When you have great runners like McElroy and Hill and Thomas, you get them the ball in the open field, in this case 5 yards short, to see if they can maneuver their way for the first down. But give the linebackers and the secondary of Notre Dame credit for stopping short.
James Bennett is kicking a high snap. He pulls it down. He gets it away. Taken at the 40-yard line by Miller. Straight down up the middle. He's to the 40, 35, 30, 25 and out of bounds. 22-yard line. And the smile of Michael Miller, he's a Texan, tells it all for Notre Dame.
Remember earlier he had a fumble. This time, look at the right up the middle. Good job by the special teams of Notre Dame allowing him that gap. It's not as if he made a lot of moves. It was just the special teams created a big gap for him. Tremendous return, 45-yard punt and a 38-yard return.
Just outside the 22-yard line. Ball game tied, 21-21. 3:55 time remaining. And here is Beckton. Gets around the corner, cuts back, spins across the 15. He's going to pick up 7, maybe 8 yards on the play. We'll look for the spot. Larry Jackson with the tackle. We'll call it the 14-yard line.
If there's a weakness in Aaron Glenn's game, it's run support. Beckton cuts to the outside, and Glenn is up in plenty of time, but he does a poor job of tackling right there, just holding on to the leg and enabling him to get it extra 3 or 4 yards.
Second down and short. Here comes blitz pressure up the middle, trying to get to the outside. Outstanding play. Michael Hendricks from San Antonio bringing down Lee Beckton. Oh, if he doesn't stop him, he could score.
And the reason for that is they came with the inside blitz, Charlie. You're right. If he doesn't trip him up, Beckton can walk in. Take a look at all the maroon shirts. Here they come on the inside. Now watch the last gasp is number 40 because everybody's gone. Look, everybody's on the inside. And Beckton pats the ball thinking, oh, so close.
Third down and 4. Double tight end on the set. Johnson is wide to the right. Pressure up the middle, the handoff is to Zellers, and he is going to come up short of the first down. Eric England making the stop for Texas A&M.
Now, don't forget that Kevin Pendergrass is someone who's here on soccer scholarship, and they do not have, this is no offense to him, but here's a situation where you come up and you've got about 4th and 1. Do you entrust it to the kicker in this situation, or do you entrust it to an offensive line that's arguably the best in college football to get that 1 yard?
We'll find out. We'll find out when we come back as A&M has taken a timeout.
For the national championship, the Federal Express Orange Bowl next.
Kevin Pendergast has completed successfully 14 of 19 field goals. His longest 47. He's on the sideline. Notre Dame is going to go for it. It'll be 4th down and 2 with 2:22 left in a tie ball game, 21-21.
Do you go with a soccer player or do you run behind a Lombardi Award winner? I think the Lombardi Award winner won out. That's the decision here. They feel confident in their offensive line. They get those 2 yards. You might also take a page from their playbook. This would be an interesting time for the play-action pass.
4th down and 2 with the Cotton Bowl in the ballot. Full-house backfield, but McDougal is the quarterback and not Phelan.
Trying to draw him offside. They're not buying it. Here's the problem with that, though, Charlie, and let me explain why. Okay, now if they decide to kick it, what does that do to the confidence of Pendergrass where he's saying, why didn't I just come in on 4th and 2 and kick it? Why are you trying to draw these guys outside? What are you trying to tell me? You know, the very thing that we mentioned with Holtz with regards to the kicking game and the confidence in his performers, you just have to wonder what's going through this kid's head right now.
I think he's just looking at the goalpost. It's there. And I know, now Lou's going to call it back. Timeouts with about 3 times as many players. It looked as if he had all the seniors with him, and they were voting on whether to go for it or whether to go for the field goal. They tried to draw him offside. That was the reason that Texas A&M, I'm sure, took the timeout to warn their players, don't come across. And so now we'll go with the field goal. There's still a lot of time, 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining.
Well, and the other reason clearly to call the timeout is to freeze out the kicker, to give him a lot more time to think about it. That's the common gamesmanship here in football. So they did it.
21-yard line, a kick of 31 yards. You live by the foot, you die by the foot. And it is up. It is good.
Oh, that was close. Just inside the right upright. But he's got to feel awfully good about that.
31-yard field goal is now officially 2:17 left in the ball game. That breaks the tie. Notre Dame 24, Texas A&M 21.
Here it comes from Pendergrass. Watch the left of your screen how close it comes to, in this case, the left upright, not the right upright. as it comes through. Starts to fade there just at the last, just inside right there. It was close.
Let me tell you something else about Kevin Pendergrass, number 12. Before the Florida State game, the biggest game of the year for Notre Dame and for Florida State, Lou Holtz early in the week was auditioning kickers. He was looking all over the campus. He brought everybody in, but it was finally this young man, Kevin Pendergrass, who was selected. You mentioned he was a soccer player. He was the 1992 MVP for Notre Dame in soccer, and right now, the biggest kick of his life.
Well, then you mentioned that point. He has no choice but to be mentally tough. He keeps trying to find people to beat him out. Did the same thing with his quarterback, McDougal. Look what he did.
And Kevin Pendergrass will kick it off. 2:17, time remaining.
And don't forget last time, McElroy, when they kicked off, very nearly broken. Bobby Taylor had to bring him down.
Leland McElroy, number 34, leads the nation in kickoff returns, has returned 3 this past season for touchdowns. Billy Mitchell, his teammate, also has a 90-plus yard touchdown return on kickoff. And the strip kick. And the lateral. And pulled down by McElroy. And he's out to around the 31 of the 32-yard line. 2:14 and counting. That is the time remaining in the ball game. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Charlie, the offensive coaches for the Texas A&M were talking about the strategy on this drive. Not to panic, to do what's been working for them. Send the back out of the backfield into the flat, hit him. And don't forget about the tight end. That's what A&M wants to do right now to try and get back into this game.
The ball at the 31-yard line. And also, Terry Ventulius, the kicker for A&M, has a field goal this year for 45 yards away. And they stay on the ground. Here is Thomas across the 40. Ball is loose. Notre Dame may have it. They do. Second turnover of the ball game. The Irish recover.
All week, who had a leg injury, Bobby Taylor has had a whale of a game. Take a look. Great blocking at the point of attack. Thomas cuts upfield, has a long way to go. Cutting upfield right there. The big hit by Burris. Helmet on the ball. Strips him of it. And that's where Taylor made the recovery.
And as we come back, Sexton is the ball carrier. The line of scrimmage, the 42 of A&M. Sam Adams with the tackle.
Now A&M has to decide when it is they want to use their 2 timeouts. Clearly they're not using them there. I would guess that after this play they will.
Be sure to stay with us, of course, for the conclusion here, and then it's on to Miami for the Orange Bowl and the battle for the national championship. And at the end of this game, we're going to be going away in a hurry, but regardless of the outcome, let's make this point for everyone that's been watching today. Texas A&M belongs on the national scene. They have certainly played well against an outstanding Notre Dame game, who, if they hold on, their record will go to 11-1, and they still have a chance at that elusive national title. And now here is today's Chevrolet players of the game. They are Antonio Short of Texas A&M and Lee Meston from Notre Dame. In conjunction with this program, Chevrolet will contribute $2,000 to the National Association of Student Financial Aid Administrators for disbursement to deserving college students so that they may continue their education. Beckton, by the way, 24 carries. He has rushed for 133 yards. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 24 seconds. That is the time remaining. The fabric of ball day unravels and rolls on towards Miami. Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy will be putting in place Notre Dame, West Virginia, Nebraska, and Florida A&M as this evening all concludes. Florida State as this evening all concludes on NBC. And also an opportunity to thank our executive producer of NBC Sports, Tom Roy, John Francis, coordinating producer Bill Bonnell. who's producing today's game. Andy Rosenberg, our director. Carol Larson, our associate director. Our production associate, David Gibson. Ralph McFarland, our production manager. Alan Shear, our tech manager. And our tech director, Phil. How does Phil pronounce it? Dustep. I want to get that right there. We want to start the year right with Phil.
Interesting call here for Notre Dame.
3rd down and 10. And it is Bechtel, and he just keeps going. They're going to mark it down around the 37-yard line. 1:17, that is the time remaining.
Now remember, Charlie, you and I broadcast the Florida State game. Interesting point here with regards to the punt and what's going to happen here.
Right now, let's go to Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy.
Thank you, Charlie. We're just minutes away from the Federal Express Orange Bowl, the 60th Classic. Florida State, the top scoring team and the top defensive team in collegiate football this year, against unbeaten Nebraska for the 3rd time in Orange Bowl history. Number 1 plays number 2, the national title at stake in Miami. And now back to Charlie Jones in Dallas.
All right, so that brings us up to date on what is going on immediately following the 58th Mobile Cotton Bowl, but we still have 1:17 left in the ball game, and the Aggies are out of timeout. Notre Dame has 2 remaining.
I don't like this.
They
I don't
do
like
not have
the
a
strategy
return
here
man.
because they don't have anybody deep, and I realize
no return man.
The kicking is bad.
And it is going to go into the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining for R.C. Slocum in his 5th year as the head man at Texas A&M. Lou Holtz is in his 8th year. Identical records, 10-1 coming into the ball game, and Notre Dame on top, 24-21 with 1:10 left.
Well, no timeouts remaining, but once again, to remind our viewers that a first down stops the clock. So if they've got their 2-minute offense working and in gear, going 80 yards in 1:10 is not unfathomable.
From the shotgun. Deep over the middle. Has it out wide open. It's a tight end short across the 50-yard line.
And as I mentioned, that play only took 5 seconds before they get up to the line of scrimmage. 1:05. Greg Sharp, who was the key in the first half, but we hadn't heard anything from him in the second half until now.
32 yards. 49-yard line to spike to stop the clock.
Now, again, that whole thing only took 8 seconds. I would have thought at that point they wouldn't have wasted the down because with 1:05, plenty of time.
It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Greg Short, the tight end, as we mentioned, not someone who was key in the first half. Watch him get to the middle in the 2-deep zone. He finds his way in the seam, gets behind the linebackers. Nice throw by Pullard right here, right in the seam of the zone. Covington and Burris react far too late.
2nd and 10. Pressure at the middle and sack. Jake Flanagan. His first sack of the ball game.
This is why, as I say, the first down spiking the ball is costly, because now they would have had 3 chances to get it back. In this case, now they only have 2 with the clock running.
3rd down. Incomplete. Cody Harrison, the intended receiver. Broken up by Greg Lane. It will be 4th down. So for Texas A&M and Notre Dame, it all comes down to 33 seconds on the scoreboard clock, and this plays 4th and 19.
Well, that sack by Jim Flanagan is huge.
Him on the lateral, and Notre Dame has the ball. the recovery.
As soon as Harrison hooked up at 14 yards, you saw that coming. Everybody remembers years and years ago in that great Miami-San Diego game, Uriel Harris with the laterals to Tony Nathan. They almost were able to pull it off. But as soon as there were people with arms around it, he could not make the lateral like he wanted to and had it just a little bit too high. Good idea by Texas A&M, but they couldn't execute it.
Texas A&M is out of timeout. Notre Dame has the lead 24-21. They have the football. They need to run off only 24 seconds on the clock to make it official. And this should do it. And the seniors of Notre Dame can start their celebration. When we talked with them, they said as seniors, it's been a great year. We were upset about the loss to BC, but we wanted to end our senior year with a victory on a high note with a big smile, and they have done it here. And for the Aggies, they played the game of their lives. They played an excellent game. There's no question. They belong on the national team for the years to come.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Charlie, but I will say this. Texas A&M has played so well to be voted the national champion. I think everybody assumed that they were going to have a convincing victory over the Aggies, and that did not happen.
Let's go down to John Dockery.
Good luck, Coach. What does this victory mean to you in terms of national championship hopes?
Well, I think it has to see what happens. You know, we hope that the scenario will come down like it did in '89, and we beat #1 in the Orange Bowl decisively, but they said, hey, you lost late in the year to head-to-head. So I can't really tell. That's up to other people.
Was the win decisive enough to keep you in the title hope?
I want to tell you something. You come down here and play A&M here. We had all kind of motion penalties. We can't even hear. I mean, this is a home game, and we beat one fine football team. I think we need to keep that in mind.
What are you hoping for in the Orange Bowl?
Hey, listen, all I want to do is savor this one for a little bit.
Congratulations on the victory, Coach.
Thank you very much, John.
Now back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, John, and along with Lou Holtz, we want to savor this 58th edition of the Mobile Cotton Bowl.
And thanks a lot to the people here in the Cotton Bowl. It has been just not only a tremendous week, but a tremendous football game. The last play here, the hook and lateral, just can't quite get it there. A little bit too high for McElroy, or who knows, maybe we have a different result.
And again, the final score, Notre Dame defeats Texas A&M 24-21. For John Dockery, for my good friend, I'm Charlie Jones. So long, everybody. Let's go to Hannah.